that would again be d by 2, 1 minus 1 upon n2. So when you finish this calculation, you will end up with d by 2 n1 plus d by 2 n2, and that would be your answer.
10 ml. Molarity is 1.25. Valency factor is 2 here. And now here, molarity I'm supposed to tell. Volume again I'll be taking in.
Their mean value is 2, and then B1 dash, B2 dash, and so on, B5 dash. Their mean value is 10. So we can find the combined mean, 2 into 5.
Hello dear students, my name is Vikas Agarwal and we are here to discuss the JMMT-02 physics section. So let's get started. So the first question says that a particle is moving with a constant speed, and considering the motion from A to B, the magnitude of the average velocity. Now what we have to keep in mind, everyone, the magnitude of average velocity, okay, this is given by the magnitude of displacement divided by the time taken by the particle to move from the starting point to the end point. And in its motion from A to B, the displacement would be given by the length of this chord AB. Okay, now if I drop a perpendicular from center to the chord, okay, this angle will be 60 degree because the entire angle was 120 degree. So because this angle is 60 degree, this distance is the radius of the circle. We can say that the length of the chord AB, the length of the chord AB would be r sine 60 and twice of it. So that would be the displacement, the magnitude of displacement, and the time taken would be the distance covered. Distance covered would be pi into not pi exactly, the angle. So 120 degrees actually 2 pi by 3. So the angle covered into the radius, so that is the distance. Distance divided by the speed will give us the time. So when we finish this calculation, we will get the answer. And if I try to finish this calculation, this will become r into root 3 by 2, that's sine 60, multiplied by 2 divided by this pi, and this pi gets cancelled. So this is 2r and by 3. So 3 goes into the numerator. So now r and r gets cancelled. This 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So we end up with 3 root 3 by 2, which is 1.5 into root 3. So option D would be the correct answer to this question. So that was question number 1 for you. We'll now move to the next question, which is question number 2. So in this question, we have been given a temperature scale X, all right, and the boiling point of water on X is given, the freezing point of water on X is given, and we want to know that if there is a temperature of minus 95 degree on X, then what would be the corresponding temperature on the Fahrenheit scale? So guys, the best way to do these questions is that you make a table. On one side, you list the values of in the temperature scale X. On the other side, you list the values in the temperature scale of Fahrenheit. So boiling point of water is 65 here, and boiling point of water in Fahrenheit is 212. Okay. Similarly, the freezing point of water here is minus 15, and the freezing point of water in Fahrenheit, that is 32. Now the temperature here that we want to find out, minus 95, and the corresponding temperature in Fahrenheit, let's call it as F. Now what you're going to do, consider this pair. Okay, consider this pair. So you will write F minus 32. All right, so this value minus this value, and do the same thing for the X scale. So it would be minus 95 minus of minus 15. Okay, so this will be equal to, again, do the same thing with another pair, maybe this pair now. All right, so it will become, let's say 212 minus 32. Remember, if you are subtracting 212 from 32, correspondingly, you will subtract minus 15 from 65. So you will have to write 65 minus of minus 15 and just solve this equation to get the value of F. So F minus 32 divided by, this will become minus 80. This will become minus 80. So minus 80 is equals to, and here you will get 180 divided by, this would be 80. So F becomes equals to minus 1. Okay, this will like this, and this gets cancelled. So minus 180 actually. Okay, minus 180 plus 32 minus, so this becomes minus 148. So this A option would be the right answer. So that was question number 2 for you. Now we come to the next question, question number 3. It says two identical particles of mass m go around in a circle of radius A under the action of their mutual gravitation. Now guys, the situation is this. The particles are going in a circle of radius A. So in a two-particle system, let's say this has mass m1, let's say this has mass m2. These particles revolve around their common center of mass. Let's say in this example, let's consider m2 as the heavier one. So center of mass would be closer to m2. Let's say this distance is r2 and this distance is r1. Here we are dealing with particles of same mass, so center of mass would be midway between them, but I'm just giving you the normal formula right now. So M2 will go on a circle of radius R2, all right, and M1 will go on a circle of radius R1. Both will have the common center of mass as the center of the circle. So here you see that the separation between the particle is the sum of the radii. All right, and when we solve stuff here and we get the value of omega, the value of omega that we get is G into M1 plus M2 divided by the cube of separation. So this is the formula that if you are aware, you can directly do this question. In this particular question, the separation between the particle will become R1 plus R2, and R1 and R2, they are both equal to A. So the separation between the particle becomes 2A. The particles have equal mass. So you just substitute the value. So omega would be equal to root of G into 2M. G into 2M divided by 2A cube. Okay, so that would give you GM upon 4A cube, root of that. So option B would be the right answer. Remember, students, if you learn this formula, it's very easy to derive. If you learn this formula, then you can do such questions very, very directly. Now, this arrangement is called a binary star system, and any question pertaining to a binary star system can be easily solved if you remember this expression for omega, which is again not very difficult to remember. All right. We now move to our fourth question. So let's see what that question has in store for us. So the question four says a bullet of mass 0.1 kg is moving horizontally with a speed of 400. It hits a block. So there is a block. Okay, the mass of the block is 3.9 kg, and then there is a bullet. Okay, the bullet mass is 0.1 kg, and bullet is traveling with a speed of 400 meter per second. Now, when it strikes the block, it gets embedded in it. So we get a combined mass of 4 kg, and let's say it starts moving the velocity v. To find the value of v, we will go for momentum conservation. So 0.1 into 400 is equals to 4 into v. All right, so v will become equal to 10 meter per second. Now this block is sliding on a surface with a speed of mu, and the acceleration would be equal to mu g, which will actually bring about the deceleration. And the blocks travel some distance and then stops, and that distance is 20 meter. So we can write s is equals to v square upon 2a. All right, and s is here 20, v is here 10. So 10 square upon 2 times of mu g. Mu is what we want to find out, and g is 10. So 110 gets cancelled from here, and the 0 gets cancelled from here. So the value of mu is actually 1 by 4, which is 0.25. So option A would be the correct answer to this. So that was question number 4 for you. We'll now move to question number 5. Let's see what it has in store for us. So a gas mixture consists of 2 moles of oxygen, 4 moles of neon at temperature T. We have to find out the total internal energy. So total internal energy can be given as U1 plus U2. U1 will be written as N1 CV1T plus N2 CV2T, and that will give us the answer. Now the number of moles of oxygen is 2. The oxygen is a diatomic gas, so CV will be equal to 5R by 2. All right, and similarly, N2 is given to be 4, and neon is a monatomic gas, so we will have 3R by 2 into T. So this becomes what? This 2 and 2 gets cancelled, this 2 gets cancelled with this 2. So 5 plus 6, 11 RT would be the right answer, and option C here will become the answer. All right. Next, we go to this question. It says that the variation of kinetic energy of particle executing simple harmonic motion with displacement. Okay, now if particle is performing SHM, then the speed of the particle is given as omega times root of a square minus x square, and x represents displacement from the mean position. So the kinetic energy would be half mv square. So it will become half m omega square and then a square minus x square. So if you look at the form, we are getting some constant minus some other constant into x square. So if you are trying to make a graph between k and x, we will get a parabola and we will get a downward facing parabola. So this is definitely not correct. This is not correct. And in any case, we know that at amplitude, the kinetic energy becomes a 0. Okay, so this cannot be correct. Now, when we look at the other two options, this looks like a downward facing parabola. It is a linear relationship. And not only that, it tells us that at displacement, at amplitude, the kinetic energy is maximum. So this is definitely wrong. Option C is the correct one. All right, so option C would be the correct one here. Next, we go to question number 7. It says certain galvanometers have a fixed core made up of a non-magnetic metallic material. So the function of this, so guys, we are using a metal, we are using a non-magnetic material. Why is that? So the metallic region will allow the development of eddy currents. It will allow the development of eddy currents, and those eddy currents will help to bring the coil quickly to rest. Like they will function as brakes. So the correct answer to this is here. Now, guys, these are the questions that actually prevent you from getting 100% right, because this question is, a bit logic based, a bit fact based, and when you don't know answers to these questions in the exam, it is where you stumble upon. All right. So keep in mind that whatever questions you are facing in these mock tests, if it is a fact based question or if it's a reasoning based question and you were not aware of that fact or that reason, then you make a list of such question, or you make a list of such facts and reasons, and you keep revising them over and over again. All right, so that will definitely help you. It will actually increase the chances of getting 100% right in the subject as well as overall. Okay, so that was question number 57. Next, we go to question number 58. It says, for designing a voltmeter of range 50 volt, an ammeter of 10 milliampere using a galvanometer which has a resistance of, so the resistance is given, the full scale deflection current is given to us. Now, if you want to make a voltmeter out of it, then what we will write, the full scale deflection current, that is 1 milliampere. All right, multiplied by 54 plus R. This should be equal to the desired range of the voltmeter. So this should be equal to 50. So from here we get 54 plus R is almost like 50 into this 10 raised to the minus 3, who will go on the other side, and it will become 50,000. So R is approximately equal to 50 kilo ohms. All right, so A option is correct. Like A statement is correct. We have to choose a combination. Now, if we are trying to make it into a ammeter that can measure up to 10 milliampere, then what will happen? When 1 milliampere passes through this galvanometer, the other 9 milliampere should pass through the resistance R, and therefore we can equate the potential difference across these 2 points. So from the above root, the current is 1 milliampere and the resistance is 54 ohm. From the lower root, the current is 9 milliampere and the resistance is what we want to find out. We don't know that. So milliampere gets cancelled with milliampere, 9 gets cancelled, and here we get 6. So the value of R is 6 ohms. Okay, so this looks correct. So out of these options, A and C are the correct option, and therefore option C will become the answer because it says that the correct options are statement A and statement C. Now we go to the next question. It says for designing a voltmeter. Oh, sorry, that's the same question. I was looking at the solution slide. Now we go to the next question. This is question number 9. It says a vessel of depth D is half filled with refractive index N1 and the other half is filled with a refractive index N2. The apparent depth of this vehicle. Alright, so we have a vessel here and this is half filled. So up to a height of D by 2, it is filled with one liquid that has a refractive index of N1, and above this it is filled with another liquid. So the width is again D by 2 and the refractive index here is N2. Okay, now somebody is looking from the top and we want to know the apparent depth. So guys, remember that there's a concept or there's something, there's a trick actually that you can keep in mind, that introducing a thin layer of any medium anywhere in a situation doesn't alter the the image formation. Remember that the layer that you are introducing, if it is a curved one, then the two surfaces need to have the same radius of curvature. If this is R, then this also needs to be R. So if you imagine a thin layer of any medium anywhere in a situation, the image will still be formed at the same place. So I'm imagining a thin layer, a thin plane layer of air here. What does that? How does that help us? I can now use the formula for shift. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that let's say the object, the source was here. So because of this layer, okay, there would be a slight shift in the object. So let us call it as shift one. And then this another layer will call another shift. Let's call it as F2, S2. So the overall depth would be, the apparent depth will be D minus S1 minus S2. Now, how do we write S1? So S1 would be D by 2 into 1 minus 1 upon N1. And how do we write S2? That would again be D by 2, 1 minus 1 upon N2. So when you finish this calculation, you will end up with D by 2 N1 plus D by 2 N2, and that would be your answer. So we can simplify it to D by 2, and then it will become N1 plus N2 upon N1 N2. All right. So that's now, guys, that's one way to do this question. Let me also tell you the the elimination way. Like suppose you get a question like this in examination, and what you can do, you can imagine that if you keep N1 as 1 and if you keep N2 as 1, then the apparent depth will become equal to the real depth because then there is only air in this setup. All right. So the apparent depth will be equal to the real depth. So you can check if any option, like how many options are actually giving you the apparent depth equal to D when you choose N1 and N2 as 1. For example, if I substitute N1 as 1 and N2 as 1, the first option gives me 2D into 2 upon 1. So that becomes 4D. So this is wrong. If I try that with the second option, I end up getting D into 1 divided by 4. So that gives me D by 4. So again, this is wrong. The D option gives me D into 1 upon 2. It gives me D by 2. So again, this is wrong. The C option gives me D into 2 divided by 2. So that gives me D. So therefore, this is correct. So keep this in mind, guys. In questions like this, like a general situation is given to you and you know what the answer would be to a special case of that general situation, then you can use that special case for elimination. All right. I'll try to do that with more questions when we come across them. So that was like one way was to solve the question as we did here, and the other way was to eliminate the options. Okay, now this question says work function of helium and gold are this much. The ratio of slope of electron. So guys, the equation that we write is E times of V stop. Okay, that is equals to H nu minus phi. That is the equation. So from here, if you check that V stop can be written as H by E into nu minus phi by E. Now, if you're trying to plot a graph between stopping potential versus frequency, so stopping potential will become Y coordinate, frequency will become X coordinate. Okay, so you will see that the work function doesn't affect the slope. Slope is this H by E. So it remains same even if you change the metal. So the ratio of the slopes in the two cases would be 1. Like whatever slope we are going to get for aluminium, the same slope we are going to get for gold, and therefore the ratio would be 1. So the right answer to this question would be option B. Okay, next we go to this question. Now, this question says that we have been given 4 combinations of resistor and we want to arrange in increasing order of power dissipation. Now, keep this in mind, guys. In all the 4 figures, you have been shown the same current passing through the combination or coming through the lead wire in this combination. So, we are going to rely on this formula. The power can be written as I square into R. So, we are trying to find out that in which case we will have the maximum R equivalent and in which case we will have the minimum. So, in this case, you will see that R equivalent is what? This R by 2 and R. They are connected in series. So it is 3R by 2. Here it would be 2R and R. So it will become 2R by 3. Okay, so 2R into R divided by 2R plus R is what I have done. All right, so the equivalent would be 2R by 3. Here the equivalent would be R by 3 and here the equivalent would be 3R. So this is maximum. So D should come in the last. Okay, so D is not coming here. D is not coming here. So I have to choose between A and C. And R by 3 is the minimum. So C should come in the start. Between these two options, C comes at the start. So A option is the correct one and all the other 3 are wrong. Okay, So this is how you can finish this question very, very quickly. Now we move to the 12th question. So this question says that there is a process that we have done. AB is isothermal process, isothermal expansion to double the volume, and then isobaric compression to reach the initial volume, and then isophoric change to reach the initial pressure. So that is what we have done. We want to know the total work done in the cycle. So total work done will be equal to work done during the process AB. That would be given by NR into T ln the ratio of the volume, which is 2. Okay, then in this process, this is the isobaric process, and the compression is taking place. So the work done would be negative. So minus NR delta T. And how much will be delta T if the temperature here is T? All right. Then what we are doing, we are reducing the pressure. We are reducing the volume to half, keeping the pressure same. So even the temperature will become half. So the temperature at C would be T2. So delta T would be equal to like the change in temperature would be T by 2. All right. I've already used the minus sign here. So therefore, I'm not paying attention to like it will become NR and then T by 2. So from here, you can take NRT as the common quantity and ln2 minus half would be the answer. So option B is the correct one here. All right, so that would be option B. Now we go to question number 63. Now, guys, it shows us certain transitions that happen in the hydrogen atom. And if you notice, these values are actually the values of hydrogen atom. All right. So because the values are of hydrogen atom, so we are using the real data in framing the question. It's not a hypothetical situation. Now, if you look at the transition A, it is happening from infinity to 1. Okay, so infinity to 1. So that becomes the series limit of Lyman series. Okay, that becomes the series limit of Lyman series. Now, this is happening in the second orbit, so that means this belongs to Balmer series and first, second, and third member of Balmer series. So even this part is right. Okay, and then if you look at C, because we have to worry about ABC only. So it is happening in the third orbit, so it belongs to Paschen series, and it would be the second member of the Paschen series. So option A, I checked the option A and I found that to be the correct one. Other options you will be able to confirm that they are wrong. So option A would be the right one here, and A is the given answer. Okay, so that was question number 13 for you. Now we go to question number 14. Okay, now this question says what? This question says that we have a cube of side A has point charges Q located at each of the vertices except the origin. Now, guys, if there is a cube and you place 8 identical charges at the vertices, at all the vertices, then that would give you a zero electric field at the center because the diagonally opposite charges will cancel out each other's effect. So if we have 8, we get a 0. So what happens if we remove 1? If we remove 1, then the other 7 will result in an electric field which will be equal to the one that this alone was producing. All right, so the other 7 will cause an electric field in this direction. Now, if you place a negative charge here, it will actually produce the same amount of electric field in its own direction. So that means that origin, the electric field will be towards the origin. All right, so this option is definitely wrong. This option is definitely wrong because they both point away from the origin. All the x, y, z coefficients are positive, so they both point away from the origin. So one of these two has to be correct. Now, which one will be correct? So, how much electric field will be produced by one charge? Let's talk about that. So that would be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q divided by this distance. Now, this distance would be half of the diagonal. The diagonal length is root 3a. So root 3a by 2 square of this. All right, and we will have twice the magnitude of this because one charge will produce whatever. The other 7 will also produce the same amount. So this is the magnitude that we are looking for. So it will become q divided by 2 pi epsilon naught, then 3a square, and then this 2 will become 4 as it goes into the. So this would be the magnitude. This would be the magnitude. And if we are converting it into I cap, j cap, k cap, then I will divide it with root 3, and then I will write I cap plus j cap plus k cap because this would be the unit vector in the direction of the field. So ultimately, what are we getting? In the numerator, we'll be getting a 2 and denominator 3 root 3. So this option looks correct and this is incorrect. So option B would be the right one here. Option B is the right one here. And now we move to question number 15. Now this question says that the velocity time graph is given to us. Now guys, if the velocity time graph is a straight line, then it means that the acceleration has been constant. So it was a negative constant and then it became a positive constant. So A option looks to be the correct one because B option shows variable acceleration. That is not the case. Again, C option also shows that acceleration has changed multiple times. So C is wrong, D is wrong. So option A would be the right one to this. All right, very straightforward questions, guys. Very straightforward questions. Now, this is a good question. Now, this says that there is a parallel plate capacitor with area A, distance of separation D, and the dielectric, the permittivity of the dielectric constant varies. Okay, so how does it vary? If I make a graph between permittivity and the distance, okay, and the distance, let's say X. Okay, so if this is the plate of the capacitor, this is the plate of the capacitor, and this region is occupied by the dielectric. Okay, and this distance is D. Then for half the distance, for T by 2, the permittivity increases from epsilon naught to a value, to a certain value. and then in the remaining part it decreases following the same slope. Okay, so this is the graph. Like for the d by 2 it increases linearly, and for the next d by 2 it decreases uniformly to acquire the same value. Okay, so this is the graph. So what I'm thinking is that I will integrate it from 0 to x by 2. Like I will first find the capacitance of this portion, and then I will make it half, because whatever is the capacitance of this portion, the same will be the capacitance of this portion, and they will be connected in series. So C by 2 is going to be my answer. And to find the capacitance of the first half, I'm going to say that, okay, at a distance x from the sheet, let's consider a thickness of dx. All right, and then we will write the capacitance of this. So I'm going to write dc as a epsilon by dx, and all these are connected in series. So integration of 1 upon dc, that would be 1 upon c. So integration of dx upon a epsilon, and then dx upon a epsilon will be replaced by epsilon naught plus kx. Okay, and this will go on from 0 to d by 2. So when you finish this, 1 upon a would be the common quantity. This will become ln epsilon naught plus kx, and we'll divide with k, and the limit will go from 0 to d by 2. So it will become 1 upon ak into ln epsilon naught plus k into d by 2 divided by epsilon. So this is 1 upon c. Remember, this is 1 upon c. So the value of c would be ak divided by ln 2 epsilon naught plus kd divided by 2 epsilon naught. So this is t, and remember the answer would be c by 2. This is the capacitance of only first half. Okay, so the answer would be c by 2. So this is what we are looking for. So ak by 2 divided by ln 2 epsilon naught. So option B looks to be the right answer. Option B is the right answer. All right, everyone. Next, we go to question number 67. It says two wires of the same length and radius. So we have two wires. They have the same length, let's say L, and they have the same radius, let's say R. And they have the Young's modulus as Y1 and Y2, and we want to replace them with a single wire. And we want to know what would be the Young's modulus of that wire. Now, guys, just as I said, we can go for elimination in this question. I know that if Y1 is equals to Y2, then my Y equivalent will also be equal to them, because now I'm talking about a uniform material. So let's see that what all options give us this. If I substitute y1, y2 both as y, I will end up with 2y square divided by 6y. So this is not giving me y. 2 into 2y, 2 into y square divided by 2y. This is giving me y. So it may be one of the answers. This is giving me y square divided by 4y. So this is not correct. This is giving me y square divided by 2y. This is not correct. So guys, this is the answer. And mind you, we have obtained this with elimination. Can we solve and obtain? Yes, we can do that. I'm going to treat this combination as a combination of two springs. I will say that this is one spring, this is another spring. They are connected in series. So K1 will be given as Y1A by L. K2 will be written as Y2A by L. And then this entire thing can be looked upon as one spring. Okay, the spring constant of which would be written as YA by 2L. Okay, and we know that when the springs are connected in series, we can write K equivalent as K1, K2 upon K1 plus K2. So you just use this. So K1, K2 product will become equal to Y1, Y2 multiplied by A by L square of this. And K1 plus K2 will become Y1 plus Y2. And then uh, y1 plus y2, yeah, and then a by l will be the common thing. A by l will be the common thing. And on this side, we will write ya by l, and a 2 will also be here. So when we start canceling stuff, for example, this will get cancelled, then a by l will get cancelled from here. And that's it. We get the value of y as 2y1, y2 divided by y1 plus y2, which we obtained from elimination also. So this will be the right question, right answer. Okay, now we go to the next question, question number 68. So what does this question say? In this question, there is a mass M which is going around in a horizontal circle. Okay, and this mass is attached with a, let's say, rod of length L. All right, and this is the situation. So it's a conical pendulum. It's a conical pendulum situation. And now it's going with omega, with some omega, let's say. So if we are trying to find out angular momentum about A, the angular momentum about A will always point in the upward direction, and it will have a fixed value. How much will that be? It would be equal to m omega square. Just not omega square. It would be like m into, if this distance is r, so m r square into omega. All right. Now, if we think about the angular momentum about this point, okay. So this is a mass, or this is a point which is the inward velocity, and this is the position vector. So we write angular momentum as of a particle as m into r cross v. This is what we write. Okay, so r cross v will have this direction. Notice it will have a, because r is like this, v is inward, so r cross v will become inclined. So as this particle is moving on the circle, this arrow is moving on the surface of a cone like this. Okay, it is moving on the surface of a cone. When the particle comes this side, the angular momentum is this. So we notice that for this angular momentum or for this vector, the vertical component is constant, but the horizontal component is actually rotating in a circle. The vertical component has been maintained as a constant. So this vector is not constant in direction, but it is constant in magnitude. So it says LA and LB are constant in magnitude as well as direction, wrong. LB is constant in direction, varying, wrong. LB is constant, wrong. LA is constant both in so this is correct. All right, LA is constant in magnitude as well as direction. So this would be the right answer. Okay, so now we go to question number 69. So this question says that two soap bubbles stick to the. So guys, we have a soap bubble of radius A, we have a soap bubble of radius B, and then they stick together to form a situation like this. You have seen this situation. If you play with bubbles, you will many times see that the two bubbles are sticking to each other, making some surface here. Okay, we want to know the surface of the radius of curvature of this surface. Okay. Um, all right, so this radius is, let's say, A, this radius is B, and this radius is R. How do we do this question? So the pressure here, let me call it as P1, let me call it as P2. If I'm assuming the curvature to be like this, I'm assuming that P1 is more than P2. Okay, so the difference P1 minus P2 will be equal to 4T by small r, and P1 will be written as P2 plus P0 plus 4T by A, and P2 will be written as P0 plus 4T by B, and that would be equal to 4T by R. So from here you can see that 1 upon A minus 1 upon B is equals to 1 upon R is what you're going to get. And when you solve that, you will get AB upon B minus A as the right answer. So this A option would be the right answer. There's another thing that you could have tried. If both the bubbles have equal radii, then when they stick to each other, there would be a plane surface between them, which has the plane surface of infinite radius. So if we put A equal to B, we can check that what all options are giving us are infinity. This is not giving, this is not giving, this is not giving, this is giving us a zero. So A option should be the correct one. So as I said, you can go for eliminations also, guys. You can definitely try eliminations in the exam. Okay, now question number 70. It says that a truck and a car moving with the same kinetic energy are brought to rest by applying brake which provide. Now force is equal. So guys, if their kinetic energy was equal, the force is equal, we can use the work energy theorem. It says that force multiplied by displacement equal to change in kinetic energy. So this change in kinetic energy will be same for both. We are saying that the force is also equal, which means that they will stop in the same distance. So this statement is correct. Statement 2 says the car moving towards east. All right, it is moving in this direction, takes a turn towards north. Now it is moving in this direction. The speed remains unchanged. The acceleration of the car is zero. That is definitely wrong because the velocity vector has changed. The velocity vector was first pointing towards east. Next, it is pointing towards north. So that has definitely changed. So the acceleration had been there. There must have been some acceleration. So this is wrong. So statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So option A would be the right answer to this question. Okay, now we move into the numerical questions, and the first question says for the certain organ pipe, the first three resonance frequencies. Now, guys, the question doesn't clarify that whether we are dealing with an open organ pipe or a closed organ pipe. If it would have been an open pipe, then the first three resonance frequency would not be in the ratio of 1 is to 3 is to 5, all right? Because they are, all the harmonics exist in case of an open organ pipe. So if F naught is the fundamental frequency, then 2 F naught, 3 F naught, 4 F naught, and so on. All these would have existed. So this is not the case. The other case is that we are dealing with a closed organ pipe. In closed organ pipe is if the fundamental is F naught, then 3 F naught exists, 5 F naught exists, and so on. All right. So that is the situation. And we can see that the difference of any two consecutive ones. All right. If the frequency of the fifth harmonic, okay, so this one is given to us as 405. So F naught would be equal to 405 divided by 5. So that is 81 hertz. Okay. And yeah, we got the value of F naught. And for an open or for a closed organ pipe, F naught is actually V by 4L. So from here, L can be obtained as V by 4 into 81. V is 324. So 324 divided by 4 into 81, that would be 1 meter. So 1 would be the right answer. All right. So 1 is the right answer, as we can see. Next, we move to question number 72 or question number 22nd of physics. Two plates have thermal conductivities. So K1 is given, K2 is given. So let's say this is a plate. Okay. And K1 is given to us. And then they have the same surface area and the thickness. All right. And K2, they are joined like this. And they're the same thickness, guys, although it may not appear in my figure. And this is K2. Okay. They are in contact. The surface temperature of the outer surface of A. So here the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius and here the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. Obviously, there would be a heat flow through them. We want to know the temperature of the surface of contact. So guys, this situation can be looked upon as two resistances which are connected in series. This is R1 and this is R2. Now K1 is 84 and this is 126. So the resistance are inversely proportional to the conductivity. So therefore, I can say that the resistance R1 will be proportional to 126. I can write it as 126 into some constant. R2 will be proportional to 84. I can write it as 84 into some constant. Okay, so R1 is known, R2 is known. This is 100 degrees Celsius. This is 0 degrees Celsius. We want to know the temperature here. So if I calculate the temperature difference across this, I'm done. And how do I calculate that? So the overall temperature difference multiplied by, see, V is proportional to IR. I will be same. So V will be proportional to R. So the temperature difference across this resistance. All right. V treats like the V serves as the same role as the temperature difference. So I will write it as R2 divided by R1 plus R2, and that will give us the answer because that will give us T minus 0. So therefore, we are going to get the value of T. So R100 into 84 divided by 126 plus 84, that would become 210. All right, so that will be equal to the temperature we are looking for. So this becomes 7, 12 times, this is 30 times, this goes 40. 40 is the answer. Okay, so 40 degrees Celsius is the right answer. Of course, you have to enter 40 only. Um, Now we go to the next third question in the numeric section. Insulated copper wire has 100 turns wrapped around a wooden cylindrical core of cross-sectional area. Okay, so the two ends of the wire are connected to a resistor. So insulated copper wire. So basically, we have a wooden cylindrical core over which we have wrapped a wire, and the ends are connected to a resistance. Okay, and then what we are doing, we are changing the magnetic field through this. Okay, from 1.5 Tesla in one direction to 1.5 Tesla in the other direction. We want to know how much charge will flow. Now, guys, to do this question, there is a formula which is like the change in flux divided by resistance gives us the charge flown through the circuit. Okay, so this is a formula that you're going to use. What is the change in flux here? What is the change in flux? So change in flux can be written as change in magnetic field, which is 1.5 minus into minus 1.5. So 3 Tesla is the change in flux. Area is how much? It is 24 into 10 raised to power minus 4. How many terms were there? 100. Okay, so BAN. Okay, delta B into A into N divided by the resistance, which is 12. That will give us the answer. So this will become 2 and how much? 6. So it becomes 0.06 coulomb. Or if we have to answer in millicoulomb, that would become 60 millicoulomb. So 60 would be the right answer to this question. Next, we go to question number 74. It says that, as shown in the figure, a plain mirror is fixed at a height of 50 centimeters from the bottom of a tank. The height of the water in the tank is 8 centimeters. Okay. A small bulb is placed at the bottom of the water tank. The distance, okay. So the light coming from this bulb will appear to be coming from a higher point. Okay. And the distance of this image from the interface. How do you know that? So object distance divided by mu. All right. So that will become 6 centimeters. So the light reaching the mirror will appear to be coming from 6 centimeters below the interface. The distance of the interface from the mirror is 42. So 42 plus 6 is 48. So for this object, the image, for this mirror, the object distance is 48. All right. So it will form an image which is 48 centimeter behind the mirror. So 48, and we want to know the distance of the image formed by the mirror from the bottom of the tank. So this is 48, this is 50. So 98 would be the answer. 98 would be the right answer, as we can see. And then we go to the last question, which says an unpolarized light is incident on a polarized. Okay, and this is the maximum intensity. In the test, you would have written the maximum intensity here. All right, the maximum intensity of the light beam as it is written here. Okay, so this is what you have got in test. So basically, earlier, if the analyzer was giving us maximum intensity, then it means that the pass axis of analyzer and the pass axis of the polarizer, they were same, they were parallel. Now, if it is rotated by 30 degree, the intensity that we will get here would be whatever intensity was there. It says that the intensity lighting emerging from the analyzer is measured if the analyzer is rotated. So earlier it was 100. Okay, earlier it was 100. So this 100 actually, like we may have sent I naught from here. It became I naught by 2 here. And this is what we were getting because both were parallel. Now we will get I naught by 2 cos square 30. All right. So this will become 100 into 3 by 4. So 75 would be the correct answer. Cos square 30 is 3 by 4. So 75 would be the right answer. So that brings us to the conclusion of this test, guys. I'll see you again in the video solution of the next JMMT. I hope you enjoyed the solution, guys. Of course, it was a rapid fire solution, as that's how we want you to do in the exam. The questions are very easy. You just need to stay calm, stay composed, and do the questions, and you'll be fine. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Hello everyone. So now let us discuss the chemistry portion of your test 2 for JEE Mains. Okay, let us have the very first question, which is pretty easy question from redox reaction, pretty basic questions. So in these questions, you are given two reactions and you are supposed to tell how H2O2 is behaving in these two reactions. You all know H2O2 can act as oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. We just need to figure out how H2O2 is behaving in these two reactions. So let's have a look, guys. Okay. So H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, you know the oxidation state of oxygen is -1 here. and it is going to 0 oxidation state. Here also from -1 to 0. So oxygen is changing its oxidation state from -1 to 0. That means it is losing electron, undergoing oxidation itself. That means it is acting as a reducing agent. So in both the reaction, H2O2 is acting as a reducing agent. So of course, as per the option, what answer we will mark, guys? We will mark our answer as A. A is the correct answer. H2O2 is a reducing agent in both the equations, right? So this was pretty easy, basic questions, you can say. Let's move on to the question number 27th. Let's have a look at this question, guys. Consider the following statements and arrange in order to the true or false as given the codes, right? So the first statement is Na2O2 MgO ZnO P4O10 acidic property. Is it according to the acidic behavior of the oxide? You all know metallic oxides are basic in nature, whereas non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. And as we move along the period, right? So the acidic nature of oxide increases. In first option, it is showing decrease. So it is a false statement. Next, sodium, silicon, magnesium, aluminium, first ionization energy. Again, it is not the correct order. You all know magnesium. The ionization energy of magnesium is more than aluminium because of 3s2 stable configuration. Again, very common case. Again, it is given wrong. Next is polarizability of fluoride, chloride and bromide. Bigger is the size of anion. They are all anion. Bigger is the size of anion, more is the polarizability. So out of fluorine, chlorine, bromine, bromide ion is biggest in size, so it should be having the highest polarizability as per Fazan's rule. So out of all the A, B, C, D options, as we are getting all answers false, so the answer will be D donkey. D donkey will mark as answer. Again, pretty basic question on from chemical bonding, or you can say from periodic classification. Let's have the next question, guys. The characteristics of elements X, Y, Z with atomic number 33, 53 and 83. So you are just need to figure out the atomic number, which elements are with atomic number 33, 53 and 83. You're supposed to know the periodic table, and accordingly you can easily answer whether it is a metal, non-metal or a metalloid. So atomic number 33, as you can see, atomic number 33 is arsenic, right? So which is a metalloid. 53, you can say iodine is the 53, that is a non-metal, and 83 is a bismuth, that is again metallic behavior. So you should have pretty good idea about the atomic numbers, which element has what atomic number, so that you can answer this question nicely. Let's move on to the next question, guys. Potassium manganate K2MnO4 is not formed when it will not be formed. First option, cuprous oxide reacts with alkaline KMnO4 solution. Manganese dioxide is fused with K2CO3 in the presence of KNO3. Third option, ferrous sulfate reacts with potassium permanganate in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid solution. Potassium permanganate is heated with potassium hydroxide. So I am sure if you have done redox reaction, you must have done the balancing of this question, right? The redox reaction balancing, that ferrous with permanganate, potassium permanganate in acidic medium, it will get oxidized to ferric, and permanganate will get changed to Mn+2, right? So the oxidation state of manganese is +2 in the final product, not as per in KMnO4 where the oxidation state is +6. So of course, even if you don't know the other reaction, you can easily mark your answer using your knowledge that you have acquired in redox reaction, because it is very commonly used equation in redox reaction, and we definitely do it while doing or learning the balancing in acidic medium, right? So indeed, guys, as I said, the answer is C. Let's move on to the next question. The major product in the reaction. Yes, you can have a look. Zinc, mercury, HCl, Clemmensen reduction. Yes, in the presence of acid, your aldehyde will become CH2. Clemmensen reduction, two very important reductions where your CHO group becomes CH3 or CO becomes CH2. That is Clemmensen and Wolff-Kishner. Clemmensen is happening in acidic medium, so they are talking about Clemmensen reduction. So just have a look at the molecule. It is pretty simple. By using this reagent, this CHO will get reduced to CH3. So I'll have CH3 here, but because I'm using acidic medium in this reaction, so my H positive will attack on this, right? OH, and the water will be removed. There is an alcoholic group at this carbon. So the H positive will attack on OH, water will be removed, and there is a formation of carbocation that will result into dehydration of alcohol reaction. Ultimately, we'll get a double bond here, right? Yes, other than the usual reaction, because there is OH and which will be attacked by acid, and dehydration will happen and we get alkene over there. So you can match the answer from the given options. Yes, guys, so that alkene will be formed, which is more stable, right? And of course, I'm sure you all can get your answer. If I look at all the options here, what answer you will get, guys? What answer you will get? Yes, so this is the answer. As you can see here, please see here, reduction and alkene formation, which is in resonance. The double bond is resonance in benzening. So the answer indeed is B. Your phenyl group is doing resonance with the double bond here, right? So this is the next question, again based on a very common fundamental reaction, basic reaction. Okay, now the next question from an important name reaction. While looking at the reagent, if you have done organic chemistry, especially the name reactions, I am pretty sure you will get it like this. Yes, so which reaction is this? Br2NH NaOH heat, Hoffman bromamide, because you can see the amide here, degradation, one carbon will be lost, and I am pretty sure guys that you can figure out the options, which is the correct option. So these are the options given, A, B, C and D. Of course the answer is D for donkey. You can see here Hoffman bromamide, right? So this NH2 will be formed, CONH2, one carbon will be lost. It is a degradation reaction. You will get NH2 here, right? Hoffman degradation, one carbon will be less, it will be lost. And then after heating, it will form a cyclic amide. Done. So D donkey is the correct answer here. Pretty, I will say, common reaction which you are supposed to know in, nitrogen compounds, right? Okay, let's have a look at the next question. Which of the following complex has a possibility to exist as meridonial and facial isomerism? I always, whenever I discuss question on isomerism, especially the optical geometrical isomerism part in condition compounds, I always ask all my students to remember the charts, the tables that is given in book JDL, the Indian edition, that is for JEE. There is 2-3 tables. If you remember those 2-3 tables, you will get all the questions correct from the isomerism part, especially this isomerism, stereoisomerism, which is difficult to crack at times. So facial meridonial, this kind of isomerism is shown by which kind of complexes? Ma3B3, right? So Ma3B3 type complexes will show this facial and meridonial type of isomerism, right? 3 complexes, 3 ligands same, another 3 are same. So which of them, according to you, is satisfying that journal format Ma3B3? 3 same ligands, another 3 same ligands. So I am sure the only one option that we have is D donkey, right? So 3 amine and 3 nitro groups are there. So it can show facial and meridonial isomerism, as you can see in the figures here. Okay, in the next question, you have this compound in which you can see there is a benzene ring, there is a carboxylic acid, there is ester also, right? And there is a reducing agent. Please be careful. The reducing agent is not lithium aluminium hydride, it is lithium boron hydride. So lithium boron hydride is very selective. So when your compound is having carboxylic acid, it will not reduce your carboxylic acid. So selective reduction, for selective reduction of esters or lactones in the presence of carboxylic acid, if I use lithium aluminium hydride, my COH will also get reduced by lithium aluminium hydride. So if we don't want that our carboxylic acid will get reduced, we just want the ester to be reduced by the reagent. So for selective reduction, we use lithium boron hydride. So as I just told you, COH will not get reduced, only your ester COOET will get reduced by this reagent lithium boron hydride. And I am sure by knowing this, what I just told you, can get the answer where your COH, C is the answer, remains as such, and your this ester will get reduced to, of course, alcohol, right? So the answer indeed is C. Note, remember, lithium boron hydride is used to selectively reduce ester in the presence of acid. Esters or lactones can also be reduced, right? Okay, now the covalency and the oxidation state of boron here. So guys, covalency, the number of covalent bonds formed by the boron. So I have boron and it is forming 4 bonds. It has 4 chlorine because it has a negative charge overall. So the covalency, the number of covalent bonds formed by my boron is 4 here, and the oxidation state, of course, you can calculate Fluorine has -1 charge, and the oxidation state of this boron will come out to be +3. So I'm sure pretty easy to crack. The answer will be the covalency is 4 and the oxidation state is 3. So you'll mark your answer as C. Right? Let's move on to the next question. Okay, now I have again organic reaction. So there is this my compound in question number 35 and dilute KMnO4. So mind it is a dilute KMnO4 Bayer's reagent, right? Bayer's reagent. So vicinal diols will be formed. Across this double bond, vicinal diols will be formed. So Bayer reagent followed by John's reagent, which is an oxidizing agent, right? So what will happen? The first product is the vicinal diol formation, and here I will get OH. So after adding dilute KMnO4, the product I will get is, after the first step, because I am using dilute, so I will get these as my products, right? This will be the product, double bond, vicinal diol formation. Now, this is my 2-degree alcohol and this is my 3-degree alcohol. So the 2-degree alcohol will get oxidized by John's reagent CrO3, not the 3-degree alcohol. It can oxidize primary and secondary alcohol. So here in the final product, your alcohol will get converted to C double bond O you will get here, carbonyl group you will get here. So these are the options. I am sure you can figure out which is the correct option. Yes, which is the correct option. The option that we'll get is A. This 3-degree alcohol will not get reduced, just the 2-degree alcohol will get, oxidized by John's reagent. Yes, done. So oxidation. Okay, you can have a look here at the solution. Next, please. This you should definitely know. From NCERT, there's a table in the NCERT about all the natural, all the essential, non-essential amino acids. So make sure that you know the structures. Yes, and the codes used for them. Very important. Already it is there. The table is there in your NCERT biomolecules. Make sure many times you get questions from my biomolecules specifically on amino acids, their structures and everything, which has a basic functional group or acidic functional group. So guys, this is a memory based. I will say that you should definitely remember. Those who remember that, I'm sure they will mark the correct answer as C. Okay, so C is the correct answer. Okay, the next question. If the standard electrode potential, this was the question of the cell, is 2V at 300 Kelvin. Standard electrode potential is 2V. E naught cell is given to you, right? The equilibrium constant they are asking. So reaction is given. You can see the reaction here, guys. Right? Now, you know this is the relation between K, the equilibrium constant K, and E naught cell. So we'll be using this relation. Those who don't know from where it comes, I'm sure you all know delta G naught is equal to minus RT ln K, right? And of course, delta G naught is equal to minus NF E naught cell. So you can equate the two and get this relation. So in this question, you are supposed to figure out K. N is 2, you can see the reaction. Faraday's constant, you all know. R is given. Temperature is also given 300 Kelvin. E naught cell is 2 volts, right? So by simply putting the value in this relation, you can figure out, and it is ln. You are not supposed to calculate the logarithm. They have given you in the exponential powers, right? Yes, in the power exponential power. So it is just that K is equal to E raised to power NF RT E naught cell. Yes. So K is equal to E raised to power NF E naught RT. So if you know this formula, you can easily get your answer. The answer will be E raised to power 160 because it comes out to be 160. Simply putting the value, nothing complicated. Okay, now in this next question, question number 38, you have a graph, right? Energy profile diagram for a reaction. You can see the various steps, right? Now, in this, you must be knowing in the mechanism, these minimas, there are two minima, they correspond to the intermediates formed in the reaction, right? So it is a 3-step reaction as you can see from the graphs. The minimas, they correspond to the number of intermediates formed during the reaction. And these peaks, they correspond to the transition states, which has more energy, which are more energetic, right? So by looking at this, you are just supposed to tell how many intermediates are there, how many active complexes, that is the transition state is there, and which is the rate determining step. Yes, the slowest step is the rate determining step, right? RDS, which will happen the most slowly, that is the rate determining step. So I am sure till now you have figured out the correct option. A, B, C, D. So the answer indeed is the number of intermediates to transition state 3, and the second step which requires more energy, it will happen slowest, and thus the rate determining step. So indeed your answer is A for apple, right? So this was question number 38. Okay, now the next, the strongest acid. Many times guys, in JEE you get question in which you are required to compare the acidic and the basics, and they are like one of the most important type of questions from GOC for JEE organic chemistry, specifically JEE mains. If I talk about, in fact in JEE advanced also you get such questions directly or indirectly, right? So guys, just have a look. By looking at these molecules, I am sure by now you must be that pro by looking at the molecules. CH3 plus I, NO2 minus I, not minus N is not operating, that is not affecting OH because NO2 is at meta position. Cl minus I, right, again. So the electron withdrawing group, which is the most withdrawing, NO2, the electron withdrawing group, of course, will increase the acidic strength. So the one with NO2 group, the most electron withdrawing group present, that will be the most acidic. Answer, this should be correct, guys. Should be correct. Next question we have, in which of the following complexes ions are arranged correctly according to this decreasing spin only magnetic moment? So guys, you are provided with the coordination compound, the different complexes. You are supposed to see the oxidation state. Fe is in +3 oxidation state, and fluoride in the first complex, that is a weak field ligand, no pairing. Next, cobalt again in +3 oxidation state, amine, strong field ligand. Yes, with cobalt it will act as a strong field ligand, cobalt 3 positive. Okay. Nickel again with chloride, right, NiCl, and next is, it should be NaCl4. This is NiCl4 here. And the next is this copper complex with amine, again NH3 are there. So again strong field ligand, the pairing will take place. So how many unpaired electron each of them will have depending upon the oxidation state, depending upon whether the pairing will happen or not, strong or weak field ligand is there. So ammonia is a strong field ligand, cobalt complex and copper complex, they have NH3. So you can see the number Fe3 positive, 3d5 configuration, 5 unpaired electron, cobalt 3 positive, 3d6, and NH3 here. NH3 will do the pairing, and again you will not get any electron which is single, so 0. And NiCl4 2 negative chlorido, again you can see 3d8 configuration. Chlorido is a weak field ligand, will not do the pairing, so 2 unpaired electron. And we have this complex in amine 3d9. 3d9 is there, right? 3d9 configuration. Again, you will have 1 unpaired electron, and hence the number of unpaired electron is this. You are supposed to figure out or tell the order according to their magnetic moment. More is the number of unpaired electron, right? More is the magnetic moment. Got that, guys? So I hope this is pretty common question that we do in coordination compound. So it might take some time, but it should be correct, right? It should be correct. So this was question number 40. Let's move on to the next questions, guys. Okay, what is the standard reduction potential E0 for the above reaction? Fe3 positive to Fp. Now, you are supposed to calculate the standard reduction potential E0. E0 for this reaction we need, right? E0 cell for this reaction. And we are provided with 2 reactions and their E0s are given. Say this reaction, this is 1, this reaction is 2, this is reaction 3. So by adding 2 and 3 reaction, I will get the first reaction. So the same will happen with the delta G. So delta G0 value of first reaction is equal to the sum of the delta G0 values of the second and third reaction, right? So I can write minus NFE0 cell. So that will get cancelled from both sides. So here I have for the second reaction number of electron involved, Faraday is constant, E0 cell plus, because I just cancel negative from both sides, guys. Cell, this is for second, this is for first, this is for second, and this is for third, right? For second and third you would know, and the number of electron involved also you know, 2 and 1, right? So putting the values of N1, N2, N3 and E0 for the 3 reaction, right? Because Faraday's constant will get cancelled from both the sides. You will easily get your answer. You just can't directly add E naught values, but you can definitely do that with your delta G. Yes. So by putting the values, we'll get our answer as A. A is the correct answer, right? So N1 is 3, N2 is 2, N3 is 1. By putting these values, you will get your answer, guys. Yes. Done, done, and done. Perfecto. Done. Okay. Let's move ahead. The next question, which of the following statement is true? You are supposed to figure out the true correct statement in this. So, H3PO2, H3PO3, H3PO4, all are tri-basic and reducing in nature. Of course not. They are not tri-basic. So, monobasic, dibasic, tri-basic. I'm sure you know the structure and the valency factors. B, among anions, nitrate, sulfide, carbonate and borate, only sulfide will have p-pi d-pi bonding. So we have nitrogen, sulfur, carbon and boron. Only sulfur will have d orbitals, 3d. Nitrogen, carbon and boron, they doesn't have. So they will not do any kind of p-pi d-pi bonding. There will be p-pi bonding in the rest of the ions. Among anions, sulfide, sulfate, thiosulfate, HSO4 negative, SO3 2 negative is basic and reducing in nature, so that you can figure out. So plus 4 oxidation state of sulfide can go to plus 6. That means it can lose electron. It can oxidize itself and reduces other. Next, the number of lone pairs of electrons in on xenon in XeF2, guys. XeF2, xenon compounds, right? So xenon has, how many valence electron it has? Xenon has 8 valence electron. Out of 8, 2 are forming bond. That means 3 lone pairs in this, right? And 2 lone pairs in this, and 1 XeF6. XeF6 has 1 lone pair, not the 0, right? So we are supposed to find out the true statement. True statement. So of course C is the true statement. 1 is false. Second is false because SO3 2 negative have p-pi bonding. No, it will have like all will have p-pi bonding. Only SO3 2 negative will have p-pi d-pi bonding, right? Yes. Got it, guys? So the answer is all will have p-pi, but sulfide will have also p-pi, d-pi because the presence of d orbitals. So C is the answer, which is the true statement out of all. Okay, the number of orbitals associated with quantum number 5, quantum number is 5. So if n is 5, how many subshells, what all subshells we have? We have 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f and 5g, right? We have 1 orbital, 3 here, 5 here, 7 here, 9 here, right? And in each set of orbitals, the spin quantum number, in one orbital, there are 2 electrons, one with plus half spin, another will minus half spin, right? So 1 electron will be here, 3 will be here, 5 will be here, 7 will be here, and 9 will be here. So what should be your answer to this? How many electron will have spin? Plus half. The answer is 25. Got it? So S, P, D, F, G. So S have 1 orbital, P3, D has 5 orbital, and F has 7 and 9 has, D has 9 orbitals. In 1 orbital, we have 1 electron with plus half spin. So you can make it total of 25. Next, an ideal gas undergoes isothermal expansion at constant pressure. Isothermal expansion. Isothermally, it is expanding, right? Temperature is constant. Yes. So if temperature is constant, enthalpy. Yes, enthalpy of the reaction. What is enthalpy of the reaction? And entropy change of the reaction. So if temperature is constant, delta T is 0. There is no change in temperature. Isothermal, that means of course, the both enthalpy and your entropy, they are not changing because temperature is not changing. It is an isothermal, right? Isothermal compression, expansion. So both enthalpy and entropy remain same as delta T is 0. Let's move ahead, guys. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Which statement is incorrect? Generally, the radius trend and the ionization trend across the period are opposite. Of course, if the radius increases, ionization energy decreases. Metallic and covalent radii of potassium are, so metallic and covalent, metallic should be more than covalent radii, which is again correct. Amongst lithium and ion, beryllium and ion, carbon ion, beryllium negative is least stable because, of course, beryllium has 1s2 2s2 configuration. By adding an extra electron, its stable configuration becomes unstable. So it becomes 1s2 2s2 2p1. So of course it will be least stable on adding electron. Last, atomic and ionic radii of niobium and tantalum are almost same due to diagonal relationship. They are indeed same, but not due to diagonal relationship, but because of lanthanide contraction, right? So zirconium, hafnium, niobium, tantalum, molybdenum, tungsten, they have nearly the same size because of lanthanide contraction. So the reason is lanthanide contraction, not the diagonal relationship. So the answer to this question, the incorrect statement is D donkey. Next question. Now we have numeric value questions here. The 5 next questions will be numeric value questions here. Okay, so consider a titration. We have a titration of NaOH with oxalic acid. So the valency factor of NaOH is 1. The valency factor of oxalic acid, H2C2O4, that is 2. So, and at the end point, following burette readings were obtained. If the volume of oxalic acid was taken 10 ml, then the molarity, very simple, pretty basic question based on titration. So the equants of NaOH is equal to the equants of oxalic acid used, right? And number of equants, how can we calculate? Molarity into volume into valency factor. So molarity of NaOH into its volume into its valency factor. This is for NaOH. And same, molarity into volume into valency factor of oxalic acid, right? Now let's have a look what is all given to us. The volume of oxalic acid. Yes, so the volume of oxalic acid is 10 ml. Molarity is 1.25. Valency factor is 2 here. And now here, molarity I am supposed to tell. Volume again I will be taking in ml because both the side I am taking in ml. So reading is given to me. I am sure by looking at the most probable data, which will be the value that we should put 4.4. That is, please see the data here. The most recurring value 4.4. Right? So into valency factor is 1. Please solve this equation. You will get your answer for molarity of NaOH. The law of chemical equivalence, whenever two things react, the number of equivalents of one should be equal to the number of equivalents of second reacting, right? So I hope you get your answer. Done? So the answer will come out to be 5.68 and you will write it as 6. Okay, in the given reaction, how many products are expected without ring expansion? You are not supposed to consider ring expansion, but definitely you can expect the shift, right? Let's have a look, guys. So we have CH3OH, so let's form product and there is a, of course, heating. So one product I will get Br will be replaced by this ether formation, right? Another two, here will be carbocation which can rearrange and form 2 because heat is there. It can rearrange 2 degree to 3 degree 1 degree to 3 degree carbocation. It can rearrange and form the substitution product. Right? Got it? So these are the products that are being formed here. The total product without ring expansion will be 3. Next question. If a compound AB dissociates to the extent of 75%. So alpha here is 0.75. Right? The molality of the solution which shows a 2.5 Kelvin rise in boiling point. Delta TB IABM. So this is given to you 2.5. I you will calculate from here. Alpha is given. AB it will dissociate to give 2 particles. You will get I, Ventov factor I. Yes, KB though you should know it is already given to you. Everything you know except M. Putting the values, I am sure you will get your answer and you have to write because it is a numeric value and you are expected rounded off to the nearest integer. You are supposed to round it off to the nearest integer. Got it, guys? Yes. So answer will be 3. Very simple, pretty basic question from solution and colligative property. Next question, a very common reaction. I am sure you must have done this in hydrocarbon 11th class NCERT. Acetylene, red hot iron tube. Whenever you see acetylene with red hot iron tube, ting, benzene will be formed. So in the first reaction, there is trimerization happens and benzene will be formed. which with CO, HCl, AlCl3, what will be formed, guys? What will be the product? Then only you can count the number of sp2 hybridized, CO, HCl, Cl3, aldehyde. Yes. So you will get aldehyde, Gattermann-Koch reaction. So finally, how many carbon have sp2 hybridization? All the 6 carbon of benzene has sp2 hybridization plus this C double bond O carbon. So total 7 carbon is sp2 hybridized in the final product, that is benzaldehyde. Right? Very easy peasy lemon squeezy question. Now let's move on to the last question. Okay, when 100 ml of 80% W by V NaOH is mixed with certain amount of 40% W by V NaOH solution of density 1.2 gram per ml, the percentage concentration of final solution becomes 60% weight by volume. Find the molarity of the final solution. So if we are supposed to calculate the molarity of final solution, which is formed by mixing 2 solutions, we should know the final moles of NaOH and the final volume, right? Okay. Now in 100 ml 80%, right? So that means 80% weight by volume. That means first solution, solution 1, right? 80 gram NaOH is present in 100 ml of the solution, right? Because it is 80% W by V. Second solution, if I talk about the second solution, we don't know the volume. We just know certain amount. Let's the second solution volume is V2. That is being added with 100 ml of this, right? So this is my 100 ml. Say this is V1 and this is V2 and this is say W1, the weight of NaOH from first solution, and W2 will see. So equation says it is 40% W by V, the second solution. That means, okay, that means in 100 gram or 100 ml of the second solution, the NaOH is 40 gram. 100 ml of this solution contains 40 gram NaOH, right? Weight by volume. That means the V2 will have 0.4 V2 grams of NaOH. So this is the weight of NaOH in the second solution, W2, right? Now, the solution, and of course, I got the weight. Density is also given to me. Density of this solution is 1.2 gram per ml, right? Density is mass upon volume, right? Density is mass upon volume. So, by using that for second solution, I'm using for second solution, density is 1.2, mass is 0.4 V2, right? Yes, this is the weight which is coming out to be this, guys. Please see, we are using the density formula because the density of second solution is given to us. Yes, the second solution density is given to us. We are just supposed to calculate what is V2. Once we get V2, we'll get W2. Yes, that can be easily calculated. And once we get W2, V2, we can calculate the final molarity of the solution formed by the mixing of 2 solutions. Right? Yes? Okay. Now, please let me know. Yes, the weight W2, that is 0.4 V. Yes, this is the weight of NaOH solute and the weight of solution, because this is the density of solution. So let me write the weight of solution is weight of solution divided by volume of solution. So weight of solution, this is the weight of solute, guys. Please mind it. This is the weight of solute, right? So density is given, volume is V2, guys. Volume here is V2. Can I write the weight of NaOH in second solution? The weight of NaOH in the second solution is 1.2 into the density into this 0.4 V2. Yes, 0.4 V2 or 0.4 V2. Yes, can I write that? Weight of NaOH in second solution. 100 ml contains 40 gram. V2, if I am taking V2 ml, that will contain 0.4 V2 grams of NaOH. Yes? Yeps. Done? And this is the density of solution. Density of solution, guys. Right? So, to calculate the final molarity, I need the final moles. I need the final volume. The final mole is W1 by W2 divided by 40 and final volume will be V1 by V2, right? These things I'm supposed to know. If I can calculate V2, I will get my answer. Yes, if I can calculate V2, I will get my answer. Yes. Please, let's see how can we calculate V2. How can we calculate V2? Because once we get V2, we can calculate W2. We can calculate the rest. Yes. So the other part of the statement, the percentage concentration of final solution becomes 60% weight by by volume. In the final solution, if I take 100 ml, 60 gram is the weight of NaOH, that is the solute. I will use this statement to figure out when I add two solutions, right? I mix two solutions, 100 ml of one, right? And some certain V2 volume of another. The final solution I'm getting is 60% W by V, right? That is 60% W by V. So I will use that. 60% W by V, I will use that. The mass from both and the volume from both, right? So the mass from both, 80 plus this, right? Upon the volume. So I will use that statement. The mass from first solution, let me write it here. The mass from first solution is 80. The mass from second solution is this. V2, the volume from first solution is this. The volume from second solution this. This into 100 is equal to 60. So we can calculate our V2 here. And once we get the V2, I will get my W2 as well. So figuring out the W2, you can put the values and calculate the final molarity of the solution. Yes, so you can get the final molarity of the solution. So guys, I hope this might take some time, but this is again not using any hi-fi concept. The basic concept, we are supposed to see how we are doing. We are mixing two solutions of NaOH. One from first solution, W1, from second solution, W2 weight of NaOH, V1 from first, that is 100, V2 from second. So basically we know W2 in terms of V2, and by using the volume, weight by volume percentage of final solution, we can calculate our V2 and use that to calculate the final molarity, right? So let's have a look. What should be the answer, guys? The answer should be 15 molar. You can check wherever you go wrong. You can check, cross-verify with the solution, right? Yes? Done? Perfecto. So that's all, guys. That's all in this chemistry portion of this paper, right? I hope you did pretty well, and you should know which are the areas that you need to focus on, because these all the questions, the reactions of organic or inorganic questions, or even the physical questions, they're pretty basic fundamental questions, and you are expected to get them right? You should know how to solve it. Maybe because of time constraint or the pressure of exam, you might get some of the questions wrongly. But if you know how to solve them, that is really good. That shows that your JEE prep is going really well. So all the best, everyone. See you in the next session.
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Surendra Jain, Master Teacher of Maths in Vedantu. I'm discussing JMMT-02 that was conducted recently. Okay, so this is the question number 1. I'll be giving you solutions of every question. I'll try to give you some alternate methods also. So in this question, we are given that there is an ellipse E, okay, and which is intersecting x-axis at point A and y-axis at B, okay, and we are given that it's auxiliary circle, or you can say taking a circle, taking its major axis at a diameter, a circle is drawn. I think they have written that major axis E as diameter, we have drawn a circle, okay, and this line A, B, when extended, meets this circle, which is actually auxiliary circle also, at P, and we have to find the area of triangle OAP. Okay, from this equation of ellipse, we can see this A is at 3, 0, so this OA will be at 3, and this B is at 0, 1, so this height will be 1. Okay, now to find the area of triangle, I think we just need the height of P above x-axis. Let us say this point is M, and then I think we are done. Now to find the height of this triangle, what I am going to do, please look at this diagram. This triangle PMA is similar to triangle BOA. PMA is similar to BOA, and the ratio of similarity is 1:3. If you talk about this height OB to base OA, 1:3. So in this triangle PMA also, if this height is H, MA has to be 3H, and out of which already this is 3, so this length OM has to be 3H minus 3, because complete length MA has to be 3H from that similarity. So now we can use Pythagoras theorem, because this OP has to be the radius of the circle, which is 3. So using the Pythagoras theorem, H square plus 3H minus 3 whole square is equal to 3 square, that is 9. Now if you solve it, I think your H comes out to be 1.8. You can check. Okay, so if it is 1.8, your area would be 1/2 into base is 3 and height is 1.8. So that is, I think, 27 upon 10. 27 upon 10. So the value of M is 27, N is 10. So difference will be 17. So answer should be C for this question. Okay. Now coming to the question number 2, we are given that A is 2, 3, 4 and B is 8, 9, 12. Then the number of elements in the relation R equal to relation R is actually on this ordered pair. R is defined on this Cartesian product, actually A cross B to A cross B. Domain will be from this. So this is the first entry of R in the domain, and another entry is A2 comma B2 in the codomain. Okay, so from A cross B to A cross B, we have defined the relation such that this A1 divides B2 and this A2 divides B1. Now please see, in this set A, every element, whether it is 2 or 3 or 4, they are dividing exactly 2 elements. Like 2 is dividing 8 and 12 in the set B. Similarly, 3 is dividing the elements 9 and 12 in B, and 4 is also dividing 8 and 12 in set B. Okay, so this A1 will be from set A and this B2 will be from set B. If we want to select them such that this condition that A1 divides B2 satisfies, then I think A1 I can take in 3 ways. But for every A1, my B2 can come only in 2 ways. Likewise, A2 divides B1. A2 is also coming from A, so it can be chosen in 3 ways. But for every A2, I will be able to choose B1 only in 2 ways. So you can see 3 into 2 into 3 into 2. So answer for this question will be 36. Very simple question, I think. Answer will be B. Okay, moving to the next question. Question number 3. Here we are given set A and B have 5 elements each, and mean of set of elements A is 5. For B, it is 8. The variance of elements of A is 12 and variance of elements of B is 20. Okay, now we have created another set C by taking elements of A and B, and also we have done, we have subtracted 3 from each element of A and we have added 2 to each element of B, so that we have now 10 entries in C, but not directly as it was in A and B. Some modification is done. So what I am going to do, I will first change the elements of set, I will change the element of set A in that set A itself. So what I will do, suppose in A, my elements were A1, A2 and so on, A5. I will subtract 2 from each of them, A1 minus 2. I think we have subtracted 3 here. So A1 minus 3, and I will call this as A1 dash. A1 dash. Similarly, A2 dash and so on, A5 dash. Now what I am doing here, you know the property that if we change the data such that every data is subtracted by a fixed number, variance doesn't change. Now these entries are going to become part of new set C. So from the beginning itself, I am making them like this. So I will do the calculation on A1 dash, A2 dash, so that my calculation for C becomes easier. Now if all the data of A are subtracted by 3, then new mean here would be 5 minus 3, that is 2. That M dash you can say will be 2 because we have subtracted by 3 in all the data. Okay, now this variance 12, as we know the formula, it is summation of AI square upon N minus square of mean. Okay, here it is AI dash square, not AI square. I have taken that data which we obtained after subtracting 3 from it. Okay, and after subtracting 3, our new mean is 2. So from here you can see my A dash I square will be equal to 4 plus 12, 16 into 5, that is 80. Now similar to this, if we do this thing for B, Okay, here what I will do, because we have to add to each element of B, so I will create new data, that is B1 dash, B2 dash, and so on, B5 dash. And these data will be such that they are 2 added to original B. So the new mean here, you can say M double dash, which was 8 here, so it will be 10 here. Okay, variance will not change by doing this thing. So I can say this 20 will be equal to sigma Bi square upon 5 minus this 10 square. Okay, so from this we will be getting sigma Bi dash square is equal to 100 plus 20, 120 into 5 is 600. Okay, now for C, I am having 10 datas and they are A1 dash, A2 dash, and so on, A5 dash. Their mean value is 2, and then B1 dash, B2 dash, and so on, B5 dash, their mean value is 10. So we can find the combined mean, 2 into 5, 2 into 5 plus for these 5, the mean value is 10, so 10 into 5 and whole divided by 10. So that will be equal to 10 plus 50. 60 upon 10 is 6. So the combined mean of this data will be equal to 6. Okay. And also we can find summation of square of all the data, that is AI dash square plus BI dash square is equal to, I think, 80 plus 600, that is 680. So from this we can find the value of new variance or variance of C, that will be equal to this 680 upon 10 square, sum of squares by 10 minus the square of mean, that was 6 here. So that will be 68 minus 36. 68 minus 36 is how much? I think it is 32. Okay, so that is the variance, and we are looking for the sum of mean and variance. So variance we have found 36 and mean also we found to be 6 here. So 6 plus 32, answer should be 38 for this question. Okay, see, in this question, if you do not use this thing that we are subtracting 3 and adding 2 and then do that kind of calculation later, it will become a lengthy calculation question. You can see it is done, I think, here. That way only you can go through it. So it is a bit lengthy calculation, I will say. So if you subtract in the beginning, it will become a bit easier. Okay. Now coming to the question number 4, it says 0 to infinity, this definite integration equals, we have to find this value. Now please see here, the numbers written here are such, this expression written here is such that they can be written as the factors like e raised to the power x plus 1, e raised to the power x plus 2, and e raised to the power x plus 3. It can be done after some observation or maybe use of factor theorem. So these factors we can see, this expression equal to these 3 factors. Now for such question, I think the best method is we will convert this into simple terms like a upon e power x plus 1 and so on. A upon, actually this is called partial fraction. We have to convert this into partial fraction. So a upon e power x plus 1 plus b upon e power x plus 2 and c upon e power x plus 3. Very standard process. Okay. If I take the LCM here and I compare in the numerator, that is equal to 6. So what will this be? Let me do this calculation here. So that 6 will be equal to a into e power x plus 2 into e power x plus 3 plus b into e power x plus 1 into e power x plus 3 plus c into e power x plus 1 into e power x plus 2. Okay. Now here to find this ABC, we put the values. Like we will put e power x as minus 1. So these 2 will become 0. We get a to be equal to 6 upon, I think if I put minus 1 here, so 1 into 2, 2. So that will be equal to 3. Likewise, for B, I will be putting e power x as minus 2. So this and this will become 0. And this minus 2, if I put, it will be minus 1. This will be plus 1. So B will be minus 6. And similarly, if I put e power x as minus 3, these 2 will become 0. So it will be 2. I think this is also 3 here. Okay. Now please listen carefully. Some of you might be thinking that why are we putting e power x equal to minus 1, which is not possible for any real values of x. But let me tell you, this expression, both sides, they are identical to each other. So even though they are not defined for such e power x value, But if it was e power x is equal to t, maybe some separate, you can say some separate polynomial on both sides, then also they will be equal to each other for every value of that t or e power x. So for sake of making calculation easier, taking e power x is equal to -1 is not a problematic thing. You can do it. Okay. So now we get all these values a, b, and c. Okay. Now I will do one more thing here to do the integration. A is 3. I will multiply by e power minus x here and e power minus x here. Similarly, the b is -6. So here I will again do the same thing. So 1 plus 2 into e power minus x, and here it is 3 e power minus x upon 1 plus 3 into e power minus x dx. Okay. Now if I do the integration of this first thing, and the limit here is 0 to infinity, so that integration would be, I think, minus 3 ln 1 plus e power minus x. Okay, I think we can put this thing as t, so e power minus x dx will be dt, so 3 times this thing. Similarly, here if you do, it will become plus 3 into ln of 1 plus 2 into e power minus x. Similarly, here it will be minus ln of 1 plus 3 into e power minus x, and that completes this integration. We just need to put 0 and infinity. Now, if I put infinity, you can see e power minus x, all these terms will become 0. So in the log, in the ln, everything will be ln1, 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 which is 0. So I think by putting infinity, we are going to get 0 only. So let us focus only on putting equal to 0, and that's a lower limit. So I need to take care of minus sign also. So if I put 0, so there will be minus sign outside, and then it will be minus 3 ln 2, because if you put 0, it becomes 1 plus 1, 2. Then plus 3 into ln of 3 and minus ln of 4. So this will become equal to minus sign if I take inside. So ln, I think 2 power 3 is 8 plus ln 4 minus ln 27. So this becomes ln of 32 upon 27. That is the answer of this question. So answer of this is A. Yeah. Okay. So moving to the next question. 5. Here we are given e raised to the power 1 GP, infinite GP into log 2 satisfy this equation. So first, if I solve it, you can see it is e raised to the power cos square x is the first term upon 1 minus cos square x, because cos square x is also the common ratio, into ln 2. That is the expression which we are given to us. So that will be equal to e raised to the power, I think this becomes cot square x into ln 2. So this will become equal to L cot square x. If you take inside this log 2 and this e power ln, I think they will get cancelled. So here we will be getting 2 raised to the power cot square x. Okay. Now we are given that this satisfies the equation. This satisfies the equation t square minus 90 plus 8 equal to 0. Then actually you can see the roots here are t equal to 1 or t equal to 8. So this will be equal to 1 or equal to 8. If it is 1, then cot square x has to be equal to 0, or if it is 8, then it has to be equal to 3. But we are given x from 0 to pi by 2. There cot x cannot become equal to 0. Cot pi by 2 is 0, but pi by 2 we are not given in that interval. So this is rejected. Cot square x can be equal to 3 in this interval if we take x to be equal to pi by 6 radian or 30 in degrees. Now we have to find this expression. If I put x is equal to pi by 6, so numerator will be 2 into 1 by 2 upon 1 by 2 plus root 3 into root 3 by 2. So you can see this becomes 1 upon 2. So answer for this question has to be A. Okay. Moving to the next question, that is question number 6. Here we are given one indefinite integration e raised to the power sine square x and so on. Now please see, whenever we are getting such kind of questions in which e raised to the power f into we are given g plus g dash plus g into f dash. This becomes integration of e raised to the power f into g plus c. You can see this thing by doing the differentiation here. So differentiation of this will be e power f into g dash plus e power f into f dash into g. So whenever this kind of expressions are given, we have to check whether we can think of f function, g function or not. Now if you look at these expressions, you will be able to see that my f is sine square x and g is equal to cos x. Okay, so this integration ix will be equal to e raised to the power sine square x into cos x. And you can check, you can recheck this thing if it is correct or not by doing this differentiation, check whether we are getting this thing or not. I think we are getting. Now we are given I0 is equal to 1. So if I put x is equal to 0, so that will be 1 into 1. So C has to be equal to 0 because I0 is 1. And then we are asked to find I of pi by 3. If I put x is equal to pi by 3, it will be e raised to the power 3 by 4 here into cos pi by 3 is 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 e raised to the power 3 by 4. So A will be the answer of this question. Okay. Coming to the next question, that is 7. Here we are given A is the 3 into 3 invertible matrix and which one of the following is not always true. Not always true means maybe for some specific values of determinant of A it can be true, but not always true. So please see, I think these relations are which we have been using in our normal questions also, like A part. If I find the adjoint of A inverse, okay, so the formula of inverse of any matrix is that adjoint of that matrix, so it will be adjoint of A, because we are looking for adjoint, we are looking for inverse of adjoint of A. So adjoint of adjoint A upon determinant of adjoint of A. Okay, because adjoint of A is 3 into 3 matrix, A is also 3 into 3 matrix. So this thing will be equal to, in the denominator, let me write first the numerator, adjoint of adjoint A, and here it will be determinant of A square. So if we multiply it here, so this will be adjoint of A inverse into determinant of A square is equal to adjoint of adjoint A. So this seems correct and this doesn't seem correct. So I think we have found the wrong statement already. So answer for this question will be A. Now you can check for C also. I think that's a direct property. Adjoint of adjoint A is always determinant of A power n minus 2 into A. And here n is 3. So it will be determinant of A power 1 into A. And this is also direct formula of A inverse. A inverse is equal to adjoint of A upon determinant of A. So from here we can see these 3 statements are correct, but we are looking for not true. So A will be the answer of this question. Now question number, A is the answer. Question number 8. Here we are given small k and capital K are minimum and maximum value of the function in the interval 0, 1, closed interval respectively, minimum and maximum. Then the ordered pair small k, that is minimum value, and capital K maximum value is equal to. Now to do this question, I think we need to do the differentiation. Okay, so if I do the differentiation f dash, okay, so it will be differentiation of numerator is 0.6 into 1 plus x raised to the power minus 0.4, okay, into 1 plus x raised to the power 0.6 minus differentiation of this, so 0.6 into x power minus 0.4 and into 1 plus x raised to the power 0.6. And in the numerator, in the denominator, it will be 1 plus x raised to the power 0.6 whole square. Now for increasing, decreasing, we have to check that sign of f dash x. So I think the denominator is always going to be positive, so we can ignore this. Now to solve the numerator, I will take 0.6 common. I will take 1 plus x raised to the power minus 0.4 common, and also x power minus 0.4 also common. So if I take these things common, so what we are left with here, 0.6 is gone, this is gone. This will be x raised to the power 0.4 here multiplied with 1 plus x raised to the power 0.6. And from this 0.6 is gone and x power minus 0.4 is also gone. If I take this common, I think here we will be having just 1 plus x. And in the denominator, this whole square. If you solve it, this x power 0.4 into x power 0.6 is x, we'll cancel it. So what we are having here is equal to 0.6 into 1 plus x raised to the power minus 0.4 into x power minus 0.4 into x power 0.4 minus 1 upon this thing 1 plus x power 0.6 whole square. Okay, so this thing for interval 0 to 1 will be negative. You can check if you put x is equal to 0 to 1, all these brackets are positive, this is positive, this is positive, this is positive. Only this thing will decide. So for 0 it is minus 1, for 1 it will become 0. So from 0 to 1 you can check this will be negative, so it is negative throughout. So this function is going to be strictly decreasing. So minimum value will be at 0. Minimum value will be at 1 actually, not 0. Minimum value, that is k, it will be at x is equal to 1. So 2 power 0.6 upon 2, that is 2 power minus 0.4. Likewise, maximum value, that is capital K, will be at 0, that is 1. So answer should be here 2 power minus 0.4 and k is 1. So answer here should be A. Okay. Moving to the next question, that is question number 9. Here it was A. Question number 9. Here we are given that we are asked the angle between two lines. So please see, The first line, the direction ratios are 2, 2, 1. Look at the coefficients of x also, x, y, z also. For second line, they are actually 2 here because the coefficient of x is -1. We have to write it as x minus 5, then it will become 2 here. And in this case, I think 7 is multiplied with y. So we will be writing it as y minus 2 upon p by 7. And here it is 4. So we are given the cos theta as 2 by 3, which is equal to the dot product of these two. That is 2 into 2, 4 plus 2 into p upon 7 plus 1 into 4 upon under root of this thing. Under root of 2 square plus 2 square plus 1 is 3 into under root of this thing, that is 4 plus 16, 20 plus p square upon 49. So you have to solve it and I think you will get the answer. One more thing, because it's a direction ratio, we might take direction one of the line in opposite direction. In that case, your angle can become pi minus of what we are looking for. So here it could have been plus or minus also, but that will not matter because I think when we do the calculation, let us see, the 3 will cancel this thing. If I bring this thing here and do the squaring, so 20 plus p square upon 49 equal to, I will divide first this thing by 2. So it will be 4 plus 4, 8 by 2. So 4 plus p by 7 whole square. Okay, that plus minus sign will go. And you can see p square upon 49 term is getting cancelled. This 4 into 4, 16 will come here. So 4 equal to 8p upon 7. This gives p equal to 7 by 2. So answer for this question is A. Okay. Moving to the next question, that is question number 10. Let A B belongs to R if the mirror image of the point P with respect to the line this is this, then A plus B we have to find. Okay. Suppose this is the line here. Okay, and these are 2 points. The first point is P, that is A, 6 and 9. Okay, and second point is 20, B and minus A minus 9. Now, if this is image of this point, there are 2 things. One, their midpoint should lie on the line. Midpoint is actually 10 plus A by 2. Actually 20 plus A whole divided by 2. So it will be 10 plus A by 2 like this. Similarly, for Y coordinate, it will be B by 2 plus 3. And here, this 9 will get cancelled. So minus A by 2. And one more thing will be there, that line joining these 2 points should be perpendicular to this given line. Okay. Now, because this point should lie on this line, it should satisfy. So I'll put these points there. So 10 plus A by 2 in place of X, if I put, it will be 7 plus A by 2 whole divided by 7 equal to, here it will be B by 2 plus 1 upon 5 and equal to minus A by 2 minus 1 upon minus 9. I think in the last one, we can remove all the minus signs. So A by 2 plus 1 upon 9 also we can write. Let me write it like this only. Now the first ratio and the last ratio, if we simplify, I think we will get the value of A. 9 will be multiplied here. 63 plus 9A by 2 is equal to 7A by 2 plus 7. 7A by 2, if I bring it here, it will be A. 63, if we take that side, so it will be minus 56. So that's the value of A we are getting. And if I put this A here, I think 7 minus 28 is minus 21 upon 7 is minus 3 is equal to B by 2 plus 1 by 5. So this 5 will be multiplied here. So minus 15 minus 1 minus 16. So B will be equal to minus 32. So A and B are like this, and we are looking for A plus B. So answer for this question should be 88. Now one more thing. Here we have not used the fact that the line joining these 2 points is perpendicular to this line or not. But it should be, if this question is correct, let us check. If I take the direction ratio of this line joining these 2, so A minus 20, so A is minus 56, minus 20, so it will be minus 78. Minus 56, minus 20, oh sorry, minus 76, not minus 78, minus 76. Okay. And likewise 6 minus B, so it will be 6 plus 32, that is 38. And 9 minus this thing, so it will be 18 plus A. So 18 plus A is how much? I think 38 again. Minus 38 actually. 18 plus A means 18 minus 56. 18 minus 56 will be 38 only. Yeah. So that will be the direction ratio of the line joining these 2 points, which is nothing but if you divide by 38 or minus 38 is actually 2, minus 1 and 1. So these are the direction ratio of this line joining the point P with Q, let us say. And the direction ratios of line are 7, 5, minus 9. So if you multiply them, you get 14, minus 5 and minus 9. I think it is coming out to be 0. So the question is right. But in the exam, I don't think this exercise is to be done. You can get the values of ABC directly without doing this thing. Okay. Moving to the next question, that is question number 11. Here answer was A. Yeah. Question number 11. We are given that fx is equal to function in three parts, minus 55x, this cubic and this another cubic. And we are given A as a set where fx is increasing. Then we have to find the value of A. Now please listen carefully. In this question, to know where function is increasing, okay, we will be doing the differentiation obviously. But at end points, the function may not be continuous, function may not be differentiable. So here you can see that all the intervals are given such that no boundary point like -5 or 4 is included here. So we will be checking in those interval, within those interval itself, barring those end points. So this question can be done now by doing the differentiation in those intervals where single definition is applicable. Like for first part, the derivative is -55. I am writing the derivative, which is obviously negative. So for less than -5, this function cannot be increasing. So I think A option is ruled out. Okay, B option is also ruled out. Now we are left with B and C. Now if I go to the second interval, there the derivative will be, I think 6 if you take common. So x square minus x minus 20. For this, if you do the factorization, it will be x minus 5, x plus 4. Okay. Now in this interval, you can see if this is a quadratic whose roots are real, it will be upward parabola. 6 is outside, so 4 minus 4 here and 5 here. After 5, it will be positive, or before -4, it will be positive. Between this, it will be negative. So -5 to 4, if I see, -5 to 4, if I see for this particular interval, I think that is the interval where it can be increasing. -5 to -4. So -5 to -4 is given here, but in B part they are giving -5 to infinity. So B option is also ruled out. So answer for this should be C. Okay, we are doing it without going into the third thing, but I think that also we can check here by doing the differentiation here. If you take 6 common, it will be x raised to the power 2 minus, I think, x and minus 6. 6 we have taken common. Its factors are x minus 3 into x minus 2. So for this, you can see x plus 2 actually. The graph will be like this, -2 and 3 here. So it will be positive after 3, it will be positive before -2 also. So greater than 4 will be somewhere here after this. So you can see after 4, it is always increasing. So this graph is always going to be increasing. So this -5, -4 union 4, infinity is the answer. Okay, I'm repeating once again, don't compare the function of this part with other part directly, because they may not be continuous or differentiable in between. The meaning here is those values of x we have to find where function is increasing. Okay, and because we are giving you these open intervals, so even if it is not continuous or non-differentiable at boundary points, it will not matter. Okay, so answer for this should be equal to C. Coming to question number 12, it says if the point lies on the curve traced by the midpoints of the line segment of the lines theta belongs to pi by 2, 0, pi by 2 between the coordinate axis, then alpha is. See, this line, if theta is within 0 to pi by 2, cos theta and sin theta both will be positive. So x intercept, y intercept will also be positive. This will be 7 upon cos theta, 0, and that will be 0, 7 upon sin theta. And this alpha, 7 root 3 by 3 is the midpoint, is lying on the curve traced by the midpoint of the line segment of this. Means if you vary the theta, you will get a locus of midpoints of this segment. Let us say A here, B here. Then on that locus, this point lies, which means for certain value of theta, this will be the midpoint of AB. Now, I think very easy. If you apply midpoint formula in y coordinate, so 7 upon sin theta plus 0 whole divided by 2 equal to this 7 root 3 upon 3. This divided by 2, I can multiply here also. So from this, you get sin theta to be equal to root 3 by 2. So theta has to be equal to pi by 3. Now using this and applying midpoint formula on x coordinate, we will get alpha, because alpha will be equal to 0 plus 7 by cos theta by 2. So we can put 2 here also, and theta is pi by 3, so it will become 14. So alpha will be equal to 7. So that is the answer of this question, that is B. Okay, moving to the next question. Here we are given A is as this and B as this, then sum of all elements of matrix this, sum of all element of matrix, and this matrix is actually summation of b raised to the power n, where n is varying from 1 to 50. Now, two things. Number one, if I take this as p, okay, you can see, and I take this as q. Okay, you can check p into q is actually I. Please see, first row, first column. So 1 minus 1 plus 2, so it becomes 0. First row, second column, minus 2 plus 2. So I think here it was 1, not 0. This was 1 here. This is 0 here. And then second row, first column. So 1 minus 1, 0 here. Second row, second column, 2 minus 1, 1 here. Okay. See, in such question, there has to be something like this. Otherwise, you cannot find higher powers of B. Now, suppose B is PAQ, where PQ is I, and you can check QP will also be I. Okay, because P and Q, they are inverse of each other. So what will be B square? B square means it will be PAQ into PAQ, isn't it? And Q into P is I, so that will become equal to PA square into Q. Now, likewise, if you keep on doing, I think B raised to the power R has to be equal to P into A raised to the power R into Q. Okay, now we have to add all such B powers of B, B power 1 plus B power 2 and so on. So this summation that we are looking for, B raised to the power n, will be equal to, like, we can take P common here and we write A plus A square and so on plus A raised to the power 50 into Q. Okay, now next thing is that how to find the power of A. Okay, now you can use some observation also, like if I do A square, it becomes equal to 1, 2 upon 51 and 0 and 1 here. Okay, and you can check that for every power of A, like A power 3, A power 4, you will find this element getting changed, others will not change. Okay, so we will be getting here, let me do this calculation here, that A power n is actually equal to 1 n upon 51, 0 and 1. Okay, so if I have to add this B power n, summation B power n, if I have to do, so it will be P into all elements of A square, A power 50, for 1 positions are 1 only, so it will be 50 times. Similarly, here it will be 0 and here it will be 50. But for here, please check, it will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 50 upon 51. So 1 plus 2 up to 50. Using the formula of sum of first and natural numbers, it will be 50 into 51 by 2. And if you divide by 50, I think we will be getting here as 25 only, and into Q. Okay, so this is what we are getting for B raised to summation of B raised to the power n. Now, because we have to find the sum of all elements of Bn, so we have to, find this P into this matrix into this matrix. Okay, I'll take this P here, this is P here, and this is Q here. So let us do the multiplication. So when this P multiplying this thing, so my multiplication from left side, first row, first column, so it will be 50 here. First row, second column, so 25 plus 100, so 125 here. First row, first column, so I think minus 50 here. And this minus 1 multiplied with this, so minus 75 here. And that will be multiplied with Q. Q is this thing. Now for this, I think what we will get, this first row will multiply with first column, so 50 minus 125, so minus 50 here. Minus 75 here actually, minus 75. 50 minus 50 plus minus 50 plus 125, so plus 75, sorry, plus 75. For this, I think minus 100, minus 100 and plus 125, so 125 only. And this minus 50, so this will become plus 50 minus, so this will be minus 25. And this one will be minus plus 100 minus, so it will be 25 here. So if you add them, I think you will be getting answer to be 100. Is there any option like this? Let us see. Yeah, 100 is the answer. So sum of all the elements we have to find. So sum is 100. You have to do this way only. There is no other method. Okay. You can make some shortcuts for finding A power n, but ultimately you have to do this kind of calculation here. Now coming to 14th question. Here we are given x1, x2, xn are AP. 1 upon h1, 1 upon h2 are also AP. So h1, h2, h3 are actually HP. And we are given x3 equal to h2 equal to 8, x8 is equal to h7 is equal to 20, and we have to find x5 into x10. Now please see how I am going to do this question. See, x3, x4, x5, they are part of AP. So x8 will be equal to x3 here, that is 8, plus 5D, because x8 comes 5 terms after x3, and that is equal to 20. And this gives you the value of D, common difference of the AP, 12 upon 5. 12 upon 5. Okay. Now, likewise, I'll do for HP also, or rather another AP you can say, because 1 upon H7 will be equal to 1 upon H2, which is 1 upon 8 plus 5 capital D, let us say. 1 upon H1, 1 upon H2 are also in AP. 1 upon H2 is 8. 1 upon H7 is 20, is not 20, 1 upon 20. So this will be 1 upon 20 like this. Okay, so 1 upon 8 plus 5D is equal to 1 upon 20, and that will give you the value of D here. I think 1 upon 8, if I take that side, so 1 upon 20 minus 1 upon 8, we can take 40 as LCM. So minus 3 upon 200, I think, after dividing by 5, so minus 3 upon 200. So we have got both D. Now we have to find X5 into H10. X5 I can write once again, X3 plus 2D. X3 is 8 plus 2D, that is 24 by 5. Why 2D? Because X5 comes 2 terms after this. Okay. Now for H10, what I'll do, I'll find H separately. Actually 1 upon, let me do this calculation here. 1 upon H10 will be 1 upon H7, that is 1 upon 20. Yeah. 1 upon H7, that is 1 upon 20, and plus 3D. Plus 3D, because we are looking for 1 upon H10. So 3D means it will be minus 9 upon 200. We can take 200 LCM, so 10 minus 9, so 1 upon 200. So my H10 will be equal to 200. We will put this H10 here and we will get the answer. So 8 into 5, 40 plus 24 is 64 upon 5 into 200. This 5 will cancel it 40 times. We get this to be 2560. Yeah, 2560 will be the answer. 2560, please be careful, not 2650. Okay, so answer for this is A. Coming to the next question, that is 15. Here we are given this denote greatest integer less than or equal to x. If for n belongs to n, this trinomial you can say power n is equal to this thing, then we have to find this plus this. Okay, now please see what is going on here. If I open it, I think my terms would be like a0 plus a1 x power 1, a2 x power 2, and so on, and this will go till a3n x raised to the power 3n. Okay. Now, here the first thing is actually if you put j is equal to 0, it is a0 plus a2, because if you put 1 then it will become 2, a4 and so on. Okay, here what they have done, they have given this expression like greatest integer of 3n by 2. Now please listen carefully. If n is even, then 3n by 2 itself will be integer. And if you put it here, it will be, if you put j is equal to 3n by 2, it will be j equal to 3n here, if n is even. Actually, when n is even, your last term will be having even power. So that will be included in this series. Okay, but if n is odd, then the GIF of this will be one number, or maybe you can say 3n by 2 minus half. Okay, in that case, my last term would be odd, so we will be getting one term before that. So in both scenarios, whether n is even or n is odd, this series will take care of all terms which are having even number here. And likewise here also, if you check, that is actually a1 plus a3 and so on. So this will be having all the terms which are having odd number here. Okay, now to find these things, please see what we do in this equation. Let us say 1, we will put x is equal to 1 and minus 1. If you put 1 here, you get on the left hand side as 1, and that will be equal to a0 plus a1 and so on. And if you put x is equal to minus 1, then also we are getting 1 only. So here it will be a0 minus a1 plus and so on. So alternate positive negative here. Now if you add them, 2 times a0 plus 2 times a2 and so on will give you 2. So this gives you 1 is equal to a0 plus a2 and so on. Whereas if you subtract, you will be getting 0, and that will be equal to a1 plus a3 and so on. So you can see my first series, that is this thing, is equal to 1, but the other series is equal to 0. This is 1, this is 0. So the answer here would be 1. 1 plus 0, so answer will be 1. Okay, so C should be the answer of this question. Okay, you may do this kind of question by taking certain values of n, but do not take n is equal to 1, because if you take n is equal to 1, your two options become same. 1, 1, 1, three options actually. So I think you should take n is equal to 2 at least, because if you take n is equal to 2, this will be 2, this will also be 2, okay, and this will be 1. So for 2, if you open it and you do this kind of calculation, there you will get the answer. That answer is coming out to be 1. But if by chance in some other question answer would have been 2, by putting n is equal to 2, once again you will get confused whether I should go with A or I should go with B. In that case, you have to take n is equal to 3 also. It will be lengthier, so this will be better. But if this kind of ideas are not coming, then you have no option but to go with that kind of substitution methods only. Okay. Moving to the next question, that is 16. Here we are given a complex number z satisfies this inequation. Now please see, this is less than 1. Okay, I can write this 2 as log of, I think 1 upon 2 base 1 upon root 2. Okay, now because both sides now having log of same base, so we can remove log. So we will be getting mod z plus 11 upon mod z minus 1 whole square. But here sign will change. It was less than, now it will be greater than, and 1 by 2. Do the cross multiplication, but because everything is positive here, so we can do the multiplication. Inequation sign will not change. Is equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, that will be mod z square minus 2 into mod z plus 1. So it becomes a quadratic in mod z square minus 4 mod z, and I think minus 21 less than or equal to 0. You can see its factors are mod z minus 7, 1 factor, and mod z plus 3, 1 factor, less than or equal to 0. So using the wavy curve method, mod z should be lying within minus 3 to 7, both side closed bracket. Minus 3 it cannot be, but we are not looking for that. We are looking for largest value. So it has to be 7. So answer for this question will be A. Okay. So moving to the next question, that is 17. Here we are given summation of tan inverse. I think very standard problem of inverse trigonometry. Here please see the expression this here is such that tan inverse, we can write it as tan inverse of in denominator I am dividing by 2 raised to the power 2r plus 1. So it will be 1 plus 3 upon 2 raised to the power 2r plus 1. 2r plus 1. So I have divided by 2 raised to the power 2r plus 1. Now please see, if I divide 6 power r also by 2 raised to the power 2r plus 1, what will it be? 1 by 2 I am keeping separate. So that 1 is gone. Power is now 2r only here. Now 6 power r is 2 power r into 3 power r upon 2 power 2r here. 1 minute. Yeah. Now 2 power r will cancel one of the power here. So it will be 1 upon 2 into 3 upon 2 whole raised to the power. Okay. So that is what I will be writing here, 1 by 2 into 3 upon 2 raised to the power r only. Now this will be equal to tan inverse. We see in the denominator it is 1 plus 3 by 2 raised to the power r into 3 by 2 raised to the power r plus 1. And here you can check, it is actually 3 by 2 power r plus 1 minus 3 by 2 power r. If you take 3 by 2 power r common, 3 by 2 minus 1 will be 1 by 2. That is exactly what we are getting. So this is equal to the identity of tan inverse A minus tan inverse B. So 3 by 2 power r plus 1 here minus tan inverse 3 by 2 whole raised to the power r. Now for summation, what we will do, we will keep putting r is equal to 1, then 2, then 3 and so on up to k, where k is tending towards infinity. So if I start putting these values of k, my summation s would be, for first value of r equal to 1, it will be tan inverse 3 upon 2 whole square minus tan inverse 3 upon 2 first term. Then tan inverse 3 upon 2 whole power 3 minus tan inverse 3 upon 2 whole power 2 and so on. And this will go up to infinite. And when it is going up to infinite, you can think of that this term when it is going towards infinity, or maybe let us write infinity or k only here. 3 upon 2 power k plus 1 here minus tan inverse, here it is seen. So it can be seen 3 by 2 raised to the power k. So if you see here, I think this term is not cancelling, this term is cancelling with this. Similarly, this will cancel with the another term, and here also this will cancel with the term before it. So we are left with only this thing and this thing. If k is tending to infinity, this will be tan inverse infinite, which is actually pi by 2. and that is tan inverse 3 by 2. So pi by 2 minus tan inverse 3 by 2 is cot inverse 3 by 2, which is also equal to tan inverse 2 by 3. So answer for this will be this thing, tan inverse 2 by 3. So answer will be, actually they have given in cot, let us see, cot inverse 3 by 2. Yeah, so answer is D here. Moving to the next question. 18th. We are given here number of elements in the set x belongs to R, and this in one bracket mod x minus 3 into mod x plus 4 equal to 6. Now this question I will do by making graph for different cases of x. That will be much better. Otherwise, you can solve quadratics also for different intervals. Now my first interval would be when x is greater than 0. If x is greater than 0, x plus 4 will also be positive. This left hand side will become x minus 3 and x plus 4 equal to 6. Okay. Now you can see on the left hand side, only on left hand side, not equal to 6, only left hand side, it's a parabola having real roots at minus 4 and 3. Okay. Now because this graph is applicable only after 0, this point will be minus half, minus 4 plus 3, minus 1 by 2. So my 0 will be somewhere here, and minus 0 to this way the graph will be. That means it's a strictly increasing thing. So at 0 the value is negative, from there also you can see, and after that it will be 0 at 3, and then it will become positive and it will go till infinity. So you can see the value 6 will be exactly at one point here. So 1 point we will be getting for this interval, that is x greater than 0. Okay. Now coming to when x is less than 0 but greater than minus 4. X is less than 0, so this first bracket will be minus x minus 3, and this will become x plus 4 only because x is still greater than minus 4, and that is equal to 6. If I take minus sign common, x plus 3, x plus 4 is equal to minus 6. Okay. Now again, this is a parabola whose roots are minus 4 to minus 3, and the interval, the case which we are dealing here is from minus 4 to 0. Minus 4 to 0 may be somewhere here. If I put less than 0, so it will be minus x minus 3. Yeah, that is right. Minus 4 to 0. Okay. So from minus 4 to 0, and that is equal to minus 6. Yeah, sorry. That is equal to minus 6. So you can see for minus 4 to 0, the value of graph is negative from minus 4 to minus 3, and after that it is positive. So if possible, minus 6 will be between minus 4 to minus 3, where the minimum value is at minus 3.5, that midpoint here. So you can see the minimum value at minus 3.5, if I put it here, it will be minus 1 by 4, you can check. But this is equal to minus 6 we are looking for. So this is not possible to have minus 6 from minus 4 to 0. So in this interval, we will be having no solution, that is 0. And in the last, is one last case. Yeah, that is actually when x is less than minus 4. When x is less than minus 4, this will be negative. So minus x minus 3, and that will be with minus sign, minus x minus 4 equal to 6. This time it will be x plus 3 into x plus 4. 1 minute. Yeah, correct. X plus 4 is equal to 6 only. I think similar graph which we have drawn here. Similar graph which we have drawn here, but this time it will be from minus 4 to minus infinity. Yeah, minus 4 to minus infinity, and you can see before minus 4 to minus infinity, it will be taking the value equal to 6 exactly at one point. So we are looking for only number of solutions. So number of solutions actually is 2. So answer for this will be C. There is no need to find the values of x, although you can find, but that may be a bit lengthier thing. Actually, what you can do, you can solve these quadratics, getting the values of x and see which value of x is satisfying this condition. So from there, you will be able to get number of solutions also. Okay, here I think they have done this thing only. In case 1, they are getting one solution, case 2, no solution, case 3, this is the solution. So they are actually solving the quadratic. You can do that also. Question number 19. Yeah, I think this is involving some calculation. D is the domain of function fx is equal to sine inverse log of this thing. If the range of function g such that g from D to R defined by g is equal to x minus gif. So that combined thing is actually fractional part x only. Fractional part x only is alpha comma beta. The range is alpha comma beta, and we have to find the log of alpha base 3 gif of this thing. Okay. GIF is mentioned. Yeah, it is mentioned here. So please see how this can be done. First of all, we have to find the domain. So for domain, for this log to define, I think my x has to be positive. Okay. Now, if x is positive, minus 5x will be negative, which means my 6 plus 2 log x base 3 should also be negative. Then only this log can be defined. 6 plus 2 log x base 3 has to be negative, because if this is negative, this is also negative, then only this log will get positive values. Okay, because x is positive because of this log. If this is positive, then minus 5x is negative. So I need to keep this 6 plus 2 log x base 3 to be negative. So from this, we will be getting log x base 3 to be less than minus 3. 3 is base greater than 1. So x will be less than 1 upon 27. So from these two things, so far we have got x to be from 0 to 1 upon 27. That means x has to be very small value or less than 1 at least. Now coming to the third thing. The third thing is that this for this log also we have done my calculation that has to be positive. So now for sine inverse, this entire thing which I am writing with the help of change of base law. So log of 6 plus 2 log x base 3 upon minus 5x. We can choose base as e also, and here log of 3x base e. This will be less than 1 and greater than or equal to minus 1. Less than or equal to 1, greater than or equal to minus 1. This thing I have changed by using change of base law. So I have used the base as e here also, here also. This 3x was in base, so now it will be log 3x base e in the denominator. Now, because x is between 0 to 1, okay, I think 3x is also between 0 to 1. 3x you can see is from 0 to 1 by 9. So log of 3x base e has to be negative quantity. Log of 3x base e has to be negative quantity. I can multiply, but then this inequation sign will change. I can bring it here, so it will be minus of log 3x base e, but this sign will change like this, okay, and here it will be log of 6 plus 2 log x base 3 upon minus 5x, and here sign will again change, and it is log of 3x base e. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Question is still not completed. There are some calculation. Now please see how we can do this. Yeah, this is also base e. Okay, now because base is e, which is greater than 1, we can remove log from all these things, and inequation sign will remain same, but this minus sign will make this 1 upon 3x. So minus 1 upon 3x greater than, that will be 6 plus 2 log x base 3 upon minus 5x greater than or equal to 3x. Now for this first two part, or first two inequations here, because x is positive 0 to 1 upon 27, I can cancel x. Okay, and if I multiply by minus 5 here, so it will be minus 5 by 3, but then inequation sign will again change, and it will be 6 plus 2 log x base 3. Okay, 6 if I bring it here, it will be minus 23 by 3. 18 plus 5 is 23. So less than or equal to 2 log x base 3. So from this, if I cancel 2 here, so it will multiply here. So my x will be greater than or equal to 3 raised to the power minus 23 by 6. Okay. Any calculation error? I don't think so. 6 plus 2 log x and minus 5 by 3. So this will be minus 23 upon, yeah, correct. That's correct. Okay. Now we can check, already we were having 0 to 1 by 27. Now that limit of 0 is gone, because I need to have this to be greater than or equal to 3 power minus 23 by 6, which is definitely a positive number. Now we have also to check this right hand side. Now right hand side, how to check? Please see. This minus 5x, I will multiply that side. So it will be 6 plus 2 log x base 3. Sign will change. So minus 15x square. I don't think we can solve it. We can only check that so far we have got my x to be from 3 raised to the power minus 23 by 6 to 1 upon 27. Okay. Whether entire this interval is going to satisfy it or some portion of this will satisfy it. Now please see. If I put this value here, minus 23 by 6, if I put it here, you can see it becomes 6 minus, what I'm doing, I'm putting this value here. If you put it here, it will be 6 minus 23 by 3, because 2 will get multiplied here. Yeah, so it will be minus 5 upon 3. This is minus 5 upon 3. If I put this value here, okay, it will be minus 15 upon, because power is negative, so I will take it down in the denominator. So it will be 3 raised to the power 23 by 3. Okay, you can see this thing, I can write it as minus 5 upon 3 raised to the power, if I subtract by 1, so 20 by 3. So you can see this thing is lesser in magnitude than minus 5 by 3. Okay, so definitely this side is less than this. This is bigger in magnitude, but because minus sign, this is lesser, this is smaller, which means this point is actually satisfying this interval. Now, 1 upon 27, if you put it here, you can see it will be 6 minus 6, 0, whereas this will be slightly negative, so this is not satisfying. But you can see, if I put 1 upon 27, that will be a very small number. Okay, so there is a difference that it's 0, it is negative. So this 1 upon 27 is definitely not going to be there in this solution, but the difference is not much. So you will be getting solution to be this point to some point that is slightly lesser than 1 upon 27. So what I can say here is that my solution will be minus 3 raised to the power plus 3 raised to the power 23 by 6, comma 1 upon 27. Not 1 upon 27, actually some value C. Okay, like this. Where C will be slightly smaller than 1 upon 27. Here C is less than 1 upon 27 because 1 upon 27 is not satisfying it. But the difference is not much. So this point is there, and my domain D will be actually from this point to some point C, which is slightly lesser than 1 upon 27. So what we are looking for here is actually alpha only. So you can see that alpha is definitely 3 power minus 23 by 6. So log of this 3 power, because 3 is the base, 3 power minus 23 by 6 and GIF, it will be GIF of minus 23 by 6. It becomes equal to minus 4. Okay, so answer for this question is C. It was definitely a difficult question, not easy to solve, especially in exam pressure. Now coming to the next question, that is 20th question. For the system of equations, we have to find unique solution, infinite solution, etc. So I think the first idea that should come is that 1, 1, 1, the determinant 1, 2 alpha and 1, 3, 5 equal to 0 or not equal to 0. We will check. Now to solve it, I think we can use some properties. 1, 1, 1. If I subtract second row from first, it will be 0, 1, alpha minus 1. Here also 0, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 5 minus 1 is 4. And that will be equal to 4 minus 2 alpha plus 2. So this gives you, I think, 2 common 3 minus alpha. 4 minus 2 alpha plus 2, 6 minus 2 alpha, 2 common 3 minus alpha. Now please see, if alpha is not equal to 3, maybe minus 3 or whatever, it will definitely have unique solution. But we are looking for not true. It will be having unique solution. This is true, but we are not looking for true, we are looking for not true. Now for alpha is equal to 3, it can have infinite solutions or no solutions also. The option is, they are saying system has unique solution for alpha is equal to 3. For alpha is equal to 3, it cannot have unique solution. Okay, so I think C is not true, so seems right answer. Okay, and no solution for alpha is equal to 3, beta is equal to 24. Now I'll tell you for B and C part, you may use Cramer's rule, but I'll tell you one more way. See, suppose your alpha is equal to 3, or alpha is equal to 3. Okay, you can see if this is my equation number 1, this is equation number 2, and this is equation number 3. Okay, you can check, and this can be done by some calculation also, but I have done it and I have that calculation in my mind. And then I'm saying that if you multiply second equation by 2 and subtract first equation by 1, you multiply second equation by 2, you multiply first equation by 1 and then subtract. Please see what you get. 2 minus 1, 1 here. 2 into 2, 4 minus 1. Why? Coefficient is also matching. And if alpha is 3, 2 into 3, 6 minus 1 is also giving you 5. So it is actually like a family of equations. We are getting equation 3 with the help of 1 and 2, multiplying 2 by 2, 1 by 1 and subtracting, getting you 3. But wait. It is actually not equation 3 completely. It is only the left part of this equation. But if you apply the same thing here also, then your beta should become equal to 20 minus 6 is 14. Which means if beta is 14, then definitely these three equations are actually family of planes, you can say. So they will definitely have infinite solutions. For beta is equal to 3, alpha is equal to 3, beta is equal to 14, it will have infinitely many solutions. So it will also be true. But if it is beta is not 14, maybe 24 or anything, it will have no solution. So this is also true. Okay, so that means this question has answer is C. Okay, you can do the other methods like dx, dy, dz. From there also you will be able to see that for alpha is equal to 3, beta equal to 14, it has infinite solutions. For alpha not equal to 3, unique solution. Okay, for alpha is equal to 3 and beta not equal to 14, it will have no solution. So answer here is C for this question. Coming to next question number 21, integer answer type. Very standard problem. 10 9 degree minus 10 27 degree, 10 63 degree, 10 81 degree. Now please say 10 81 degree is actually cot 9. So if I combine this with this, we get 10 9 plus 1 upon 10 9. Why 1 upon 10 9? Because it is cot 9, cot 81 actually. Cot 9, sorry, cot 9. 90 minus 18, so cot 9, which is 1 upon 10 9. If you take LCM, it will be 10 9 here and 10 square 9 here plus 1. If you multiply by 2 here and 2 here, I think this becomes a formula of sine 2 theta in denominator. Sine 2 theta, 2 tan theta upon 1 plus tan square theta. Likewise, if you add these two, that is 10 27 degree plus 10 63 degree, I will not do the calculation, I will write it directly, 2 upon sine 54 degree. So what we are looking for? We are looking for 2 upon sine 15, sine 18 minus 2 upon sine 54, this which I can write as cos 36 also. Why cos 36? Now please listen carefully. These two values, sine 18 degree, cos 36 are standard values. You should remember them. It will be 2 upon root 5 minus 1 upon 4 minus 2 upon root 5 plus 1 upon 4. If you take 8 common and you take the LCM, the product of these two, which will be 5 minus 1, that is 4 only. And here it will be root 5 plus 1. Minus root 5 minus 1. So root 5 will cancel. You will have 2 only. So this gives you 4 as the answer. So for this question, this first integer, answer should be 4. Okay. Now coming to the next question. Very easy question, I think. Again, coefficient of x power 18. I think we do the question by taking general term. So TR plus 1 I will take, which is 15CR. X raised to the power 4 whole raised to the power 15 minus R minus 1 upon x cube whole raised to the power R. Now we are looking for coefficient of x power 18, which means 60 minus 4r minus 3r has to be equal to 18. So this 7r will be equal to 42. So r has to be 6. Okay, so if I put r is equal to 6, okay, that will be 9. That will be plus 1. I think no need to check once again. Coefficient we are looking for. So coefficient is equal to 15c6. Because this will be plus. So it will be 15c6. Now 15c6 you have to calculate. 15 into 14 into 13 into 12 into 11 into 10 into 9 factorial upon 6 factorial into 9 factorial. 9 factorial will get cancelled. And 6 factorial value is 720, if you remember. 6 factorial value is 720. So I can cancel this 0 with this 0. And 12, 6 is 72. And 6 will cancel 15 5 times and 14 7 times. So what we are getting it here is 5 into 7 into 13 into 11. Now, I think that is not obvious, but those who are interested in some RMO or Olympiad stuff, you may remember this product to be 1001. It is actually, and you can find also, if you don't remember, then also it doesn't matter. 5 into 1001. So that will be equal to 5005 as the answer. See, 7 into 13 is 91 into 11. So just do the calculation, 1001. So 5005 will be the answer of this question. Next question, 23. Here we are given that fx is equal to x upon 1 plus x raised to the power n whole power 1 by n. X belongs to r minus minus 1. Okay. N belongs to natural, n is greater than 2. And nx is f n times. Now please see, if fx is like this and if I find fof, what will this be? I think I'll write fx in the numerator. So x upon x power n whole power 1 upon n divided by 1 plus. In place of x, I will put f here. So that will be x and power n is also there. So x power n upon 1 plus x power n. and whole power 1 by n. Okay, if you take LCM, I think it becomes x upon 1 plus 2x power n whole power 1 upon n. So 2 times if you are taking FOF, you are getting 2 here. Likewise, if you keep on doing it, I am not doing, you can check it. Fn will be equal to x upon 1 plus n x power n whole power 1 upon n. Okay, now we have to integrate this thing. Now other part is the integration. So if I do the integration 0 to 1, x power n minus 2 will multiply with this, so x power n minus 1 here upon, not upon, into, no wait, it is actually upon. So upon 1 plus n into x power n whole power 1 upon n. Now you can see if n square is here, this will become differentiation of this bracket. Okay, this thing will become differentiation of this bracket. Okay, for that I'll have to do 1 upon n square outside also. So 1 upon n square. Now if this is the derivative of this thing, I think we can do the integration directly. The power of this is, as of now, is minus 1 upon n. Okay, so it will be 1 plus n x power n minus 1 upon n plus 1, that formula of integration, divided by 1 upon n minus 1 upon n plus 1, and limit is from 0 to 1. Okay, this is what we have to calculate now. Let us do this calculation here. So it will be 1 upon n square, that is outside, and then we have to put n tending to infinity also. So if I put 1 here, okay, so it will be 1 plus n power 1 minus 1 upon n, and if I put 0 here, then I think it is just 1 whole divided by 1 minus 1 upon n. Okay, if I multiply n square here, or let me do this, yeah, so it will be 1 upon n into n minus 1 into 1 plus n power 1 minus 1 upon n minus 1. Now please see, in the denominator, this is a quadratic in n, and n is tending to infinity. Whereas in the numerator, if you check the degree, 1 plus n power is less than 1. If I make n tending to infinity and ignore 1 upon n, then the power is 1, then it will be just a linear. In fact, it will be just n only. But even if you do not convinced, if you're not convinced with this 1 upon n becoming 0, but still it is tending towards 0, so the power will be almost 1, and in fact less than 1. So the term in the numerator are of degree less than 1, whereas in the denominator they are degree 2. So when n is tending to 0, n is tending to infinity, this limit has to be equal to 0. So answer for this question will be 0. Okay. Coming to the next question, 24. Three vectors A, B, C, such that C is coplanar with A and B. A dot C is 7 and B is perpendicular to C. Where A is this, B is this, then we have to find the value of this thing. Now, there can be two starting point here. Either you take C equal to lambda A plus mu B. Okay, or if you know vector triple product, because C is coplanar with A and B and C is perpendicular to B, then we can take C as B cross A cross B also. See, in such case, the vector is coplanar with these two vectors and perpendicular to this vector, and some constant will also come outside because we don't know the magnitude. So there are two ways to do this question. One is this, one is this. Okay, this one will save some calculation. Okay, but I think this is also not difficult at all. Okay, in this case, you will find lambda and mu and you will get C, and then you can find this thing. Okay, in this case, we will be getting K outside, B into B, B dot B will be B square, that is 5, minus, then it will be B dot A, and B dot A is how much? Minus 2 plus 1, that is 1. 1 minute. Minus 2 plus 1, so minus 1. So minus minus plus 1 into B. See, the formula here is B dot B into A minus B dot A into B. That's the formula. So B dot B is 5, B dot A is minus 1. So we are getting this thing. So we got C as this thing. Now A dot C is equal to K. A dot C is equal to 7. So we will take the dot product of this C with A here, and we will write this is equal to 7. So A dot C, which is equal to 7 here, will be equal to K times 5 A square. 5 A dot A, so A square, that is I think 3, plus A dot B, I think we have already found that was minus 1. We get this to be 14K. So from there we get K to be equal to half. K 2b equal to half. So if you put k is equal to half there, you will get C 2b equal to 5 by 2a plus 1 by 2b. Okay. Now, if you go with this method, here also we will get the same thing. First of all, we will get b dot c 2b equal to 0. That is lambda b dot a, that is minus 1, plus mu b dot b, that is 5. That is one equation, that lambda is equal to 5 mu. Okay. And another thing, that a dot c, we are doing dot product with a, that is equal to 7. So it will be lambda into a square, that is 3, plus mu into a dot b, that is minus 1. Now put lambda is equal to 5 mu here. I think we will get mu equal to 1 by 2. I think we are getting same thing. Mu is equal to 1 by 2 and lambda will be equal to 5 by 2. Now we know these things, this c in terms of a and b, then I think a plus b plus c can be obtained, and multiplying by 2 you will get the answer. I think you can find the answer now. I will leave it. Moving to the next question, that is question number 25. I think the last question of this question. A pair n faces dice is rolled repeatedly until a number less than n appears. Okay, so what they are saying, there is an n face dice, you roll it and you want number to be less than n. Okay, I think fair dice n will be having all the numbers written on them 1, 2, 3 up to n. So we are looking for a number that is less than n. So only one case it will not be less than n, when number you are getting is n itself. Okay, so there are chances that you get your required number, desired number in very first throw only. So I think number of tosses required can be 1 also. In that case, probability would be n minus 1 upon n. Why n minus 1 upon n? Because you are having n minus 1 favorable cases, 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. Only one case that is equal to n is not favorable. So this n minus 1 upon n. If this required toss is 1, then it is n minus 1 upon n. If required tosses are 2, that means my first toss would have been n. That is possible, whose probability is 1 upon n, and then another should be n minus 1 upon n, or probability. Likewise for 3, it will be 1 upon n into n minus 1 upon n. In fact, here there will be square, because if you are getting number less than n in 3 throws, that means my first 2 throws should be n and n, whose probabilities will be 1 upon n into 1 upon n, and then it will be n minus 1 upon n, like this. Okay, and so on. Okay, now this can keep on going till infinite. Now they are saying the mean value of, and what is mean value? The number of tosses required into its probability. Okay, so 1 into n minus 1 upon n, and plus 2 into 1 upon n into n minus 1 upon n, and so on, 3 into 1 upon n square into n minus 1 upon n till infinite. This is n minus 1 till infinite, and this is given to us as equal to n by 9. Now you can see it is a AGP. 1, 2, 3 and so on, they are AP. N minus 1 upon n, then 1 upon n multiplied with the same thing, and then 1 upon n square multiplied. So it is a AGP. Okay, now to solve AGP, what we do? We multiply both sides by the common ratio, and we shift term by 1 on the right hand side. So what I am going to do, I am multiplying both sides by 1 upon n. This term will be multiplied by 1 upon n, and I'll shift it by 1 here. So it will be 1 into 1 upon n into n minus 1 upon n. Then the second term will be multiplied by 1 upon n. So we will be having 2 into 1 upon n square into n minus 1 upon n, and so on. On the right hand side, when you multiply by 1 upon n, it will be just 1 upon 9 only. Now we will be subtracting them. So first term is n minus 1 upon n, plus here it will be 1 upon n into n minus 1 upon n, then 1 upon n square into n minus 1 upon n, and so on. And on the right hand side, it will be n minus 1 upon 9, n minus 1 upon 9. Now this is infinite GP, whose sum would be n minus 1 upon n divided by 1 minus 1 upon n, and that is equal to n minus 1 upon 9. Here you can see the both are same thing. This is also n minus 1 upon n, this is also n minus 1 upon n. So this becomes equal to 1. So we get n to be equal to 9 plus 1, that is 10. Okay, so this completes the solution of this question. Okay, yeah, answer is 10. So this completes this paper also. So thank you so much, all of you. I'll come back with one more paper, one more solution of a paper in next session. Thank you so much till then. Bye everyone.